Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to what's talk raps. You're listening to what's talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Welcome. This is not Saturday. It's Friday. You are not mistaken. We are here on a Friday because some castles are clashing. Some stuff's happening in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what it is. It's Friday, noon Eastern time. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. I'm joined, of course, by Righteous Reginald. What's going on with you, bro?
Your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster is big. I was going to say Big Saturday, but it's actually Big Friday. Grapsody, Philip Lindsey, Righteous Reg. Very happy to be here. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on a different day. We're being counter-programmed. We're continuously being counter-programmed, Phil, and I do not appreciate it at all. Thank you guys for joining us. Excited to be here, man. It's been a pretty good week. Been feeling good, making some music, a lot of music, and being outside, man. It's just a way to go. When you're away from the internet and actually touching grass, as they say, life is pretty good.
Yeah, no. You don't have to continue to stay linked into this internet thing. It's okay. You can go outside, man. It's sunny outside, you know.
It's sunny.
It's like, it's warm.
It's warm.
Sure there's pools open or some shit like that.
If there's a pool, get out there. Feels good.
But yeah, I was up. Did not get a whole bunch of sleep, so I was up watching wrestling and stuff ahead of this show. Eating breakfast. We got some new hip hop this morning. I was laughing before we got on here because LL dropped some music produced by Abstract himself,
Yes.
Q-Tip, with Ross and Fat Joe on there. Record is hard. The video is dope. I was sitting there looking at it like, but why LL got Jankos on? Like, what is this?
LL got the big. There's one famous Hulk Hogan picture or something. He has a big Jankos on, and he has the NWO shirt tucked in. LL has those exact same Janko jeans on this video. LL is so animated in the video and like
Big rapper hands energy.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm rapper hands for sure, but he's so like his generation of rapper hands. Like you could tell like where he came from. He's still in that mode, and it's really funny to see alongside Ross. Fat Joe's a little bit in between because he's the middle of that generation. So it was a really interesting dynamic, but the song is hard. I mean, like classic Q-Tip production, and everybody's rapping.
Yeah, 2024 continues to be a strong year of hip hop. Getting a lot of good music. Was not expecting to see a bunch of kids at what looked like a 7th or 8th grade dance, singing all the words to Not Like Us. Wild times, man.
I'm trying to think of my 8th grade graduation, and we like danced to like Next Too Close. Like that was the song that everybody was singing, and these kids get to have like a crazy diss record.
You had no idea what Too Close was about.
That is the craziest part, Phil. We're at the Dare Dance. We're at all these dances. Dancing to this disgusting song. Everybody, just little kids out there getting their shit off to this really disgusting song that has this different meaning that we were just thought was a fun song.
Yeah, Apparently, Next Too Close is about slow dance chubby or getting a little too excited when a girl is dancing close to you.
I mean, it's kind of is ironic the word that it was happening while it was happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was narrating your experience, and you didn't even know he was narrating your experience.
I just thought this was a jam.
RL was getting this shit off and letting you know what was going on in the moment, and you didn't even know.
I'm like, wait a second. I think he's describing what's going on here. No, I mean, they did it. That's still a classic too.
Classic record, man.
At the Dare Dance, so great. Just went all the way back with that one. What a wild time. Yeah, that we were doing that, and now kids are rapping to Kendrick Lamar and wop, 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 fuck them up.
Yeah, they knew all the words. That was crazy.
What a time.
Yeah.
It used to be Drake. Everybody was singing Drake records.
It used to be the kids were running around doing the Kiki, do you love me, and what have you. That time's over, man. Life comes at you fast.
Really fast, but not that fast. He was on top for a long time.
Yeah.
Eventually, you got to come down, right? Yeah. Is he down? I don't know if he's down yet. I haven't been complete. I haven't been convinced that because he hasn't, like, when he puts out a record, that's the real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's down. Definitely.
He's down right now, but
perception-wise, he's down.
I don't know if he's out. Is the thing I should say.
He'll be fine. He'll put some music out eventually. He'll be fine.
Down and out. I don't know why that made me think of this Mike Tyson thing. I'm like, why did they? You saw that, like, they booked the fight with him and Jake Paul, and then he had a thing on the airplane, and they canceled it, and then they restructured. I'm like, these boxing fights are getting weird, but. It made me think of somebody yesterday on Ask Grapsody was asking us who we think from WWE could go to UFC, and I was like, that's where this kind of big celebrity booking fights thing has gotten, and it's like, I don't know if we're at a good place, but fun times, I guess. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Crazy times, man. But yeah, I already said it on Ask Grapsody, but just for the sake of saying it again, rest in peace to basketball legend Jerry West, the logo, architect of LA basketball in a lot of ways, one of the greatest Lakers players of all time, absolute legend, mentor to a lot of great players, guy that took a chance on Kobe Bryant, was apparently not the biggest fan of drafting Magic Johnson, but it came around.
I think it worked out. But yeah, rest in peace to Jerry West. That's one of the most influential teams in sports in any country, anywhere, is the Lakers, and he's a huge reason why the dynasties Lakers we know, the Shaq and Kobe, like all of them are off the backs of what he created. So rest in peace to him. The logo, man, like, I mean, how do you get any bigger than that?
Yeah, it was cool seeing so many people come out and tell their stories that they've had with him. A bunch of players came out and told some, great stories about him. And it was just wild seeing, like, the start of the finals, and people were just giving their condolences to Bill Walton. And here we are going from Boston Celtics legend to Los Angeles Lakers legend. There's some probably funny, probably not the most tasteful jokes at the moment of him not wanting to live to experience another Boston Celtics championship, so he got up out of here. Very, very funny joke, and very, very much in character for him.
On brand.
Because he was not a Boston Celtics fan at all. He literally took this to the grave.
Yeah, totally. It was to the end. Like, that's the kind of petty that I love. It's like, no, absolutely not. This is not how this is going, because the finals look exactly how they're going. It was interesting playoffs. I thought there were some really fun games, but the finals haven't. It's been a squash match.
Yeah, I thought Game 3 was really good. We've got another game tonight.
Okay,
could be a done deal tonight.
Wow, last basketball game of the season, Phil. I don't feel good about this.
I don't think it'll be the last game.
I don't think so.
I personally think it'll go 5 or 6 games if I had to guess. But we got a good game last night. Finally got a good game out of Kyrie Irving. Finally got a scoring on the offensive side from Jason Tatum. But it's been kind of a ho-hum final so far, and I think mostly because a lot of people wanted Kyrie Irving to get his redemption story, to get his big return to the finals and possibly win another ring, and unfortunately It's looking like the Boston Celtics are going to win, to the joy of probably one city in this entire country.
Yeah, Boston's really up, and the rest of us are like, not really that interested.
Yeah, nah. What is the Family Guy thing? The spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. Spirit of what's old and what's new. So they're all happy. All of those those Boston folks are happy, but everybody elsewhere are like, Celtics, yuck.
I don't know anything about Boston, but it still feels like Boston to me.
It
so
feels
I'm
like the spirit of Massachusetts
exactly.
is the spirit of America.
I'm not about to be celebrating no Celtics over here, big brother. But yes, looks like they are on their way. Like we talked about a little bit on Ask Grapsody, the most insufferable person coming out of this is definitely going to be Celtics legend Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm. He's
somehow is going to have a wheelchair wherever he's going to have a wheelchair on the court for some reason, I'm sure, when they celebrate this win.
Yeah. No, there'll be some other people that are Boston natives that'll be happy. The boss will be happy about this. CEO will be happy. Look, man, I like Jaylen Brown. I like a bunch of guys on that team, but can't say that I'm like this big Boston Celtics fan. I'm pretty indifferent, to be honest.
Yeah, totally. I saw that thread that you retweeted of him being this prodigy and smart ass guy, and I was like, man, this guy's pretty cool. So like that, him getting a win would be dope, but the rest of them
possibly Finals MVP.
Yeah, exactly. He out there balling for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. Last game was very good. Fun game. Almost a all-time collapse from the Boston Celtics, but
almost doesn't count. Brandy said.
fun game, man. Luka had a lapse in judgment and got a 6 fouled out with 4 minutes left, and it was a 3-point game at one point after it was like 20 plus up, and I was like, oh, this is getting interesting. And then Luka got fouled out, and I was like, oh, well, that's probably the game.
Do you think the NBA superstar pressure is getting to Luka?
I just don't think he's a very good defender. I think he's been playing really well on the offensive side, but he's just not a good defender. And I think that foul, why would you try to do that? You already have 5 fouls. And his feet weren't set. Like, what were you doing? And then he started complaining about it. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? He's constantly whining to the refs.
That's annoying. What gets me. It's like, you're phenomenal. I mean, I guess the phenomenal players are usually sometimes like that, but it's like, if you just get out there and continue to play, you might win. And you make this critical error at this. It's the finals, bro. We can't afford anything like this. And then this happens. It's like,
Windhorse jumped on and let him have it afterwards. So I was like, all right. Yeah.
I would too, man. We need you. What are you doing?
Yeah. But game 4 tonight, they have a chance to win one in Dallas. Come on, don't embarrass Dirk Nowitzki and let him at least get one win in Dallas, man, and try and force a 5-game series out of this.
Don't do Dirk like this. Not in front of Dirk, man.
Don't let Dirk down. Like don't be like J. Cole and let Malcolm Jamal Warner down.
What? Why Malcolm Jamal Warner mad at J. Cole? Like, out of all people to choose, I mean, if you like, I understand what he's saying, but I also don't understand what he's saying, because 90% of the time in the context, like, J. Cole's using it in a way that Malcolm Jamal Warner would get behind, but I don't know.
I think he's not a fan of the use of certain words, and I think he likes J. Cole's music enough that he figured, oh, this guy, I like his music, but man, these swear words, man, like, what you doing?
These swear words. What will the kids think? I'm like, I get it, Theo, but like, it's rap, man. It's rap.
Yeah.
Anytime they try to come from rap, I'm like, leave us alone. Right. Stay over there.
He'll be all right, man. Cockroach still jamming. Yeah.
That's true. Shout out to Malcolm Jamal Warner, though, an OG, a legend. He can say stuff like that, even if it's like, all right, you might be kind of wild.
Still has the jet black hair. He's done with his dread phase. He still look very young, and
he does still look very young.
Yeah. Shout out to Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Black don't crack, they say. Are you ready for your another year around the sun?
Yeah, it's just a birthday.
You got some non-Forbidden Door plans for NYC?
I don't. I still haven't decided what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Something's going on, I think. I don't know. I'm jealous. I want to go, but things happen how they happen. I'm going to take a June off from traveling to places and kick it.
Yeah, man. We got it's officially Black Music Month. We got Shaka Khan on NPR Tiny Desk. I haven't watched all of it, but man, feel good music, bro.
Yeah. It's like every song she has just feels like you feel warm inside. Like Shaka Khan. It's every time I'm like, this Tiny Desk thing has been going on for a while, and I'm like, well, they haven't gotten Shaka Khan yet. It always feels like that, but it's like it shouldn't matter when they got him. They got him now.
Yeah, vibing. I think we've got Sade coming up.
Oh, really?
That's the next one? Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's about to set the internet on fire. People are gonna cry. She's still fine, huh? She's like 65 years old.
Still outside.
We love Sade.
Sure, we got some super chats, humper chats. Of course, if you want to add to this conversation, send us your super chats, send us your humper chats via humperchats.com/Fightful.
Humpies, yeah, we got a couple super chats to start the day. Appreciate everybody for submitting. Tyrone Kidd said, "Paywall Phil quoting Paramore is worth the $5 on Select."
Come on, man. Just sometimes I gotta let y'all know, man. I'm outside, but sometimes I really want to be inside, man. I really want to stay inside. Y'all show me every time I come outside why I want to stay inside.
Back into it. The homie Joseph Molina says, "I would call Too Close the boner song, and my sister would get so pissed at me."
That's essentially what it is.
It is. Don't get too close because I'll get a boner, which is also wild though. Like, you need to relax, dude. You're like, however old you are, 27 years old, RL. Banger. Every time it hit, it's over. Amdrak says, "If Bryan wins the world title at All In, it would be almost 3 years after his debut. It's a perfect story to tell, but it's Bryan. I don't know if it will happen."
I think that's kind of where all of us are, is that this sounds like a great full circle moment for him in his AEW career, but also this guy has done this to us too many times, and I'm scared to believe that it's happening.
All the puzzle pieces fit together. The moments are right, big moments, but he will. That's like, while he'll be like, "Yeah, exactly. That's why I should lose." That son of a good. I don't know. I don't think he'll do it to us because it's his retirement year, but can't put nothing past him. He's done some things over the year. James Stalling says, "The only problem with Windhurst saying that he's a fan of LeBron James, kind of a double standard."
I did think that, you getting upset that somebody is flopping and complaining about calls, and your guy that you love does that constantly. But,
like they're following his lead at this point.
Yeah. So. Luka is a big Bron guy.
So pot, kettle, black, mirror, all that shit. Yeah. That's all of our super chats for now.
Yeah, I couldn't be the one to say it. I'm glad that somebody in our chat said it, because if I said it, oh, you hate Bron so much, dude, and it's like I can't be the only person that sees these things.
And say you're definitely thinking it though.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed when I was like, when Windhorst was talking, I was like, I know that ain't who I think it is. Like that's Windhorst talking. Okay, cool. All right.
Listen, lies.
I mean, he made some points. I didn't disagree with everything he said. I just thought it was funny that it was him of all people doing it. Let's see. We got some Humper Chats from Humper Chats regular Tony P. Yes. He says, "All Dallas teams are fake-ass losing bums. Glad Jerry doesn't have to witness what is about to happen next game. But for real, rest in peace to the logo, Jerry West. As for Petty of the Week, you choose yours this week. For me, it belongs to Karma and the whole Black community." Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if I have one.
Petty of the Week. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody's been super petty this week. Or are they? You know, a secret one?
I know somebody that's been very petty this week that I can't talk about on this podcast that
Gotcha.
I've been talking to privately that's been very petty. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get it. I forgot.
Yeah. But
Well, honestly, yeah, kind of a lot of people. Yeah.
There's some people out there been getting in their petty bag. There's been some energy out amongst people.
Yeah.
It's always the energy on Twitter.
I mean, I'd be staying away from there, Phil. That's why I don't be knowing. Like yesterday when we were talking on Ask Grapsody and you're saying all that, I'm like, man, that's new to me. And I want to keep it this way because, like, I was just taking in too much information at this point, you know? I like to be surprised too. Like I've been watching Dynamite. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know this match was happening. And it's like a good surprise.
Yeah. Tony also says, we put those racists and coons in their place this week. That lady tried to become a right-wing star using our anger against us, and it seemed to work too until racists started to say she looked Jewish and proceeded to put her through the ringer. I did not see this. That sounds absolutely crazy.
Turn of events.
I did see her clip where she was like, where she did drop that N-bomb, and she didn't thought that was gonna, turn her into this right-wing superstar. But I didn't see how this turned out for her because I personally didn't care anymore.
Same here. Like, she lost her job. Like, oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Yikes. Tony P also says, while Karma was dealing with that trifling bitch, we were giving Stephen A. Smith the blues, saying Big Willie had to check in with him and apologize. He made more black people turn on him than a Leon character. Negro is better than Woodlock. He was wilding. That whole Will video, I was like, bro, no. I ain't
bro, no, Tony P is right. Bro really said, essentially, you got to check in before I go watch your movie. And it's like, I don't have to do nothing. Like, who are you? What do you mean?
Bro, I ain't trying to do that for you.
Again, like I said on Twitter, how Stephen A keeps saying for the black community, like, you're not talking for me, bro.
He said we, and I was like, this French now? What we doing?
Yeah, straight up. Like,
you ain't speaking for me. Like,
you're using me to go against Will Smith, bro? No, I love Will Smith.
What is this we shit? Like, it ain't me.
The black community. No, brother. No, we didn't.
He was speaking very loud and demonstrative, but I'm like, nah, it's not speaking for me, buddy.
Nah.
Because let me tell you, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to see Bad Boys. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I've just been waiting for the moment. Like, let it die down. Let me get in there. But yeah, let me tell you, if I'm walking out and Will Smith is behind me, I'm about to be doing a backflip. Like, you think I'm gonna be like, hey, I need that apology first before I say what's up. No, I'm about to be like, nigga, that's Will Smith.
Hip hop icon, bona fide movie star, one of the greatest to ever do it. Well, I'm not letting you talk that way on Will Smith.
Fresh Prince.
Come on, man. Y'all trying to bring this slap up. We still listening to Rob Snyder? Rob Snyder still a thing? Like, I had to get that out of you, though.
When I saw that video, I'm like, why
are we listening to him?
Why are we listening to Rob Schneider, you guys? Like, why is this even a thing? Well, I don't think what he got to say.
I'm good. I'm good on Rob Snyder. I know that Chris Rock is your friend, but buddy, I don't care. I don't care.
And I also love how, like, Chris Rock has, I don't even know if he said anything, but all of his friends have said something. But he don't even care at this point, is what it feels like. And they're still like, oh, what about Chris? And I'm like, well, what about Chris? Everybody hates Chris.
Right, listen, what about him? Like, listen, man, that was 2 years ago. Leave me alone.
That was so long ago, bro.
It was 2 years ago. Why are we still talking about this?
The Bad Boys press run, the Martin stuff, you've been seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, because there's one video where he's like, I know you guys think I'm down, but Marty Marr's good. But even in that video, it's like, are you sure? Did you think it's just because he's old?
He's old. I know that there was this rumor that he had a stroke, and then he had to argue. He got on and responded to it. Not argue, but he got on and responded and said, guys, I'm fine. I didn't have a stroke. I'm okay.
But even in that video, I'm like, are you sure?
I think he's just old, man. I think we're just witnessing a lot of these guys getting old.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. Like, I'm trying not to be old myself. So I'm like, well, I'm this old, so that means that they're this old. Like, I was watching Martin on House Party when I was a toddler. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how old is he at this point?
Listen, man. Classic movie.
Listen, if you want to watch a house party today, go to Tubi. It's the way.
It's on Tubi?
Yeah, man. That's where I watch. I've watched it very recently, like legit in the last 3 weeks. Because I love their battle so much. Everybody thinks that Kid won, but I really think Play got him. Like Kid was like a little extra animated and he got the crowd. But if you really listen to Play's lyrics, he was going in.
Who you want? But who won the dance battle though? Oh no, man.
The ladies was going off though.
Yeah, no.
Tisha and them.
Mama from Baby Boy.
Mama from Baby Boy. We need to have an introspective podcast on Baby Boy.
I've technically done it with Emilio. We talked about it on Wrestle Rap, where I've mentioned certain things about it. Like, there's nothing worse than being in Jody's shoes and your mom starts dating after like a divorce, and it's just like, listen, man, I know you got to have a life of your own, but I don't want to see this dude in my house.
I cannot.
I don't want this dude here. This is uncomfortable. Get him up out of here, bro.
Seeing a nigga in your house is very off-putting. You know what I mean?
As a kid, like, yo, what is this dude doing in here? Like, get him up out of here. There's nothing that makes me want to see this. And then they start like trying to be cool and like trying to be like, hey, little man, like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Like,
hey,
get your body.
No, I don't like this thing. Don't talk to me.
No, man. Like trying to bond with you and stuff. Like, I know, bro.
Coming home from school and then there's just a dude in your house and you're like, yo, what's up? Who are you? What are you doing here? Nobody
wants that. And Melvin was flagrant. Melvin
was crazy.
Melvin in the kitchen drinking Kool-Aid naked. Like, nah,
Dog.
I'm good.
Put some pants on. Put a shirt on. Get out of here. Actually, why are you cooking in here? That's my Kool-Aid and my eggs.
Yeah, get up out of here, bro. But he did. He hit him with one of them Rocky punches. Make that loud noise when he put. My man fell all through the glass table. Like, Jody spent that whole movie getting beat up, man. Like, come on, fight back.
That's the thing, though. Like, Ving Rhames, like, if you see a nigga like that, I'm not gonna try to fight him. Like, I'm just gonna be like, damn, I can't believe he's in here being wild. Right. But Ving Rhames is a giant motherfucker.
That's right. Call your mama. Nah, I spent that whole movie getting snuffed. Got snuffed by Snoop. Like, what? Come on, dog. Like, got beat up by some young dudes. Like, let them take your Alizé. Come on, Tyrese.
Snoop has the funniest energy in the world in that movie.
Got you a little fort. Fuck your fort. Yeah, some of the most unintentionally funny, serious moments ever, man.
Snoop's not supposed to be funny in the movie at all, but every one of his scenes are the funniest shit ever.
Hilarious. My man P wants some strawberry soda, Jody Joe. What a movie to quote all the time. Dysfunctional females.
Have you ever turned on BET randomly on a Tuesday at 3 p.m.? Probably Baby Boy on there.
Yeah, censored version is even more unintentionally funny with the
funniest thing of
like
all
time. What are we doing? But we could go on and on. Baby Boy is one of those movies that I don't think it's a good movie, but it's so many things about it that I either quote all the time or laugh at. Like, just the music cues alone of like, it's supposed to be this serious moment, and then it's like, what?
Yeah, like that movie did not deserve awards or nothing, but like Black Cinema, they did it.
Yeah, just so many things about that movie, man. Just rest in peace to the all-time legend, of course, John Singleton. What a what a movie.
How different do you think it would have been if Pac would have gotten that role of Jody, like they said it was intentionally for?
There's no way Pac would have let Jody get beat up that entire time. There's no way he would have allowed that. And we've heard the stories of Pac getting into fights and Pac getting beat up. But Pac is not going to let himself get beat up that entire movie. We heard the story of why he didn't want to be the Muslim in and Don't Be a Menace. He wasn't letting that happen, bro.
No. He's like, we're gonna have to edit this one out, and I'm gonna win.
Bro, you go let me get some punches in. I'm not about to just get snuffed by Snoop and just roll all over the ground. I'm not about to just get hemmed up in my house by Ben Reigns. Like, no.
And it's funny because Pac is smaller than Tyrese, so it would have looked even funnier.
Yeah.
That would have been great though.
Don't go. You go choose him over me. Your flesh and blood.
We just need a reenactment of you doing scenes from Baby Boy. I think that's where the money is. We're in the wrong business.
Yeah. What a movie. See, we got some more from Tony P. He says, I think Natty is who Grace is facing.
Oh, at the TNA show tonight.
Oh, because is she still contract coming up, or is this just you guys think that they're loaning a WWE wrestler to TNA?
I think that's what they think's happening. Yeah,
maybe. But yeah, it says I think Natty is who Grace is going to face, and Tatum is a red herring. I really hope that these companies working with WWE do benefit, and it isn't just WWE doing WWE shit like usual. Now let us pour out to homie Rico after Braun murdered him.
He did.
Which, yeah, suppose we should get into, because after we got off this podcast last week, there was a lot of news about one Rick O'Shea. He is, according to PW Insider, given WWE his notice that he will not extend his contract.
Not coming back.
When we talked about it on the podcast, I assumed he was going to be coming back. He seemed pretty happy.
Me
Got
too.
his wife over there. He's still doing the flippity doodah stuff. He just was doing the 3-minute matches, which I didn't understand. But as it turns out, it seems like Ospreay driving a wedge in between this relationship seemed to work, because he was just like, yo, that's what you really doing over there? 3-minute matches? Like, what we doing?
Ospreay texts him, what's that belt you got? A speed belt for 3-minute matches? That's what y'all doing?
It looks like the Simon game.
Ospreay was like, we about to be at Wembley, and I don't have a confirmed opponent. Like, we could be up out there. Now this is, like you said, last time we talked about it, I expected Ricochet to stay just because everything seemed like a reason for him to stay. His woman, first of all, like, they seem pretty in love. He seems happy. He's doing moonsaults in the parking lot. And I think that this is probably the most active they had him on the roster. Like, he's on every week. He's featured. He's in this thing with Braun. Like, and he's pretty over. So I was like, I mean, why would he go anywhere else? But I mean, knowing the wrestler that Ricochet is, and we joke about it, but like, he should not be in 3-minute matches. Like, what's going on here? So, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be something going on. So it's not the most surprising thing that he's also like, yeah, I'm up out of here, you guys. What are you talking about?
What is the irony of this? That at one point, one Seth Rollins was saying, hey, man, we don't need Will Ospreay. We got a Will Ospreay over here. And then, when Will Ospreay became a free agent, he was like, hey, man, come on over. The water's fine. Then Ospreay was like, no, Ricochet. Water over here is fine. And Ricochet was like, oh, yeah? Let me find out. Like, so that seems like that's where we are. The irony of that is very funny to me.
It is. What a turn of events.
But, as Tony alluded to, it seems like he was written off of WWE television this week. His contract is not officially up until July, so he's still got some time left on his contract. He could potentially appear again, but it kind of seems like this is the end. Maybe this is just the way to write him off for now. Maybe he'll appear again, and that'll be his last thing. But it kind of feels like this is it.
Yeah, I mean, what else would happen? He'd come back from the dead, and then they'd send him back to the dead. It really wouldn't make a lot of sense. And also, I mean, they could offer him a bunch of money, and he stays. I don't know. Crazy things have happened.
He could still go back, but with my thinking of it, I don't think he would have given them notice if he didn't already have something lined up. Because that's usually how it goes, even outside of the wrestling sphere. If you give a job your notice, You got something lined up.
Yep.
Unless you're just like, I just don't want to be here.
I'm done here. I don't care. I'll put in my 2 weeks. I'll see what happens.
So I am assuming that he's got something lined up, and I'm assuming if he's got something lined up, that kind of tells me AEW, because I don't think if this was just like, hey man, I'm out and I'm just gonna head over there to TNA, I don't think it would be this kind of energy. I think some of Ospreay's words landed. Ospreay, of course, shared a video on his IG of him standing in front of a pole that had Ricochet on it, and he is definitely stoking the fires. He's been posting all kind of stuff. He posted their handshake from their famous Best of Super Juniors match. Ospreay really wants this guy over there. He really wants to get a rematch against him. I think he also, like a lot of us, want to see what Ricochet could look like in a different environment. And I have to assume for Ricochet as well, he probably looking like, yeah, well, what if I went over there? What if I did this? What kind of matches can I have over there? I think straight away, when we talked about it last week, I could easily see him going over there and getting lost in the shuffle because, just for his skill set, I can see him going over there and, of course, having the big dream matches like Ospreay, Pac, Ray Fenix, whoever else you want to name, Vikingo, which sounds absolutely insane. When Vikingo is healthy, give us that match as soon as possible.
Definitely.
But then what? Like, are you going to put a big belt on him? Like, what are you going to do with him of substance? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. He could very much end up still staying like slotted at the same place where he's at with WWE. But I totally understand from his standpoint of, at least let me give it a try. Let me at least try something different, because I've been doing this for years now. I gave it a shot here. They're no longer just like the biggest game in town anymore. There are alternatives. I can go and wrestle with my friend over there. There was no situation before where I can go and have big matches with Ospreay and wrestle on a big stage like Wembley. So at least let me give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly. There's always that dream, I think, for probably like 95% of the wrestlers in this generation of, I want to get to WWE, I want to be at WrestleMania, I want to live that life. And he done that, like, even if not in main events or the highest positions, like, he was out there, he tried it, he did it. And like I said, the wrestler that Ricochet is, he knows that there's still a lot left in his tank. There's still a lot that he can do, and that it's not over. And that, like, I'm sure he's seen Ospreay go and do on Dynamite. He's tearing it up on Collision. He's tearing up like any position that he gets to have like the matches that he always has been having, but on TV. And I'm sure Ricochet is like, I'm about to wrestle for 3 minutes. Like, I want to cook too. Like, what's going on here? And so if you get the chance to do that, your homie's probably saying it's cool over here, and money is like something else somewhere else besides WWE, definitely a time to give it a try. Ricochet's WWE career is the most interesting thing to me, because it's like he's been in positions, Phil, but like he never really had anything of substance. We were talking in a group chat a few days ago about like what's a story that he's had, like what's his legacy in WWE.
He's definitely had moments, but when you
moments
think of,
for sure.
When you think of like stories and rivalries, I don't know. Like when I think of Ricochet, I think of him hopping out of that ring and like landing on his feet in the feud with Velveteen Dream, and just that feud and the takeover match and how great it was. Of course, the Adam Cole takeover match as well, with the clip that people share constantly of him doing the springboard into the
every 3 days. I was at the show in LA, was it NXT? Where he did the double moonsault off of the cage. I was there. Like, he has a ton of moments.
Of course, his debut was in one of my favorite ladder matches of all time. We're coming up on a point where none of the people in that ladder match are with NXT or WWE anymore.
Crazy.
Which is crazy. I mean, he had some standout moments on main roster. I thought he was actually a pretty good Intercontinental Champion. I think he had some good stuff he did with Gunther. The Dragunov matches he had recently were fire. He's had some strong matches, but I think in terms of like what his skill set is and like the big matches he could give, AEW probably plays more to his skill set, but
Totally.
the issue with that, like I said, is well, how long? Because you have so many guys over there that can also wrestle really well or do flippy stuff.
And like you just talked about earlier with the Rollins thing, like we have like Ospreay is over here, like
Ospreay's over there,
and you don't have better skill set than Ospreay. Sorry,
Ospreay's over there. You've got a young up and coming Dante. You've got Ray Phoenix. You got so many guys that can fit in the lane that Ricochet could fit in. And so I'm very curious how he's going to accept that challenge and find a way to stand out.
I'm interested in character development, honestly. Like Ricochet, we know it. Like he could do all the flips. I've seen him do double moonsaults. Amazing. He has some of the best matches of all time. I saw him have crazy matches in PWG and Reseda. The thing that you're saying is like we're gonna see these dream matches, but then what? Like what's Ricochet gonna do as the character to make people care, to make people want him to be world champion? There's gonna have to be something more than just like that was a badass match.
Yeah, but I like I said, I think his skill set just leans more to what they do over there because
totally.
AEW is lesser so a company where you have to be able to talk well. I feel like it's more to your detriment in WWE if you can't talk well. And I've always thought he's not a terrible talker.
No,
it's just he's not on the level of that you need to be over there.
Totally.
And so I mean I'm curious to see what he can do over here. Maybe you can put a manager with him. Maybe you could do something else with him and it can work. I don't know.
Maybe he comes over and he's heel or something, like some kind of big drastic change. Like, yeah, I don't think he's the worst talker in the world. Maybe just the way that he was scripted, because some of that shit just
some of the scripted
corny.
Promos were not it. And he had too many moments where the other guys, like, because I always think of him having a moment with Drew and like saying, "Well, I'm not the best talker," and he's like, "Well, shut up then." It's like, oh.
Another clip that constantly gets shared and
constantly gets played. There was really no coming back from that.
Yeah, you're dead.
But you know, it could work. I think he can have some cool moments. I am a fan of Ricochet, so I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like I said, with this environment, how he's going to find a way to stand out. I think he will take that challenge, and I think he will try. I think with somebody like Ospreay over there vouching for him, it can go very well. And his contract's up in July. There's a really good chance that he could end up on this all-in card. I don't know what he would end up doing. Ospreay, of course, has the match coming up at Forbidden Door against Swerve. He could potentially be AEW World Champion by then, or he could just be International Champion and he could have a big match. Either way, he's going to have some kind of big match at All In. And now I feel like Ricochet's on that list of people that could be his opponent.
Yeah, I think with how long Ricochet has been in WWE and the positions that he's been in, we got Ricochet fucked up. I think maybe he's gonna come.
Sure.
He's gonna come over, and we're gonna remember who that guy is. He has a bunch of stuff built up that he's never gotten to express in WWE because they don't give him those chances. And
yeah,
like you're saying, AEW is probably the best environment for him. He might not need to say one fucking word. He might just come out guns a-blazing, setting the world on fire, doing spots that we've never seen before, and the crowd is going to know who he is. They might just be like, it's fucking Ricochet, dude. It's up. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever he does, wherever he is, we're with it. Like, his skill set and the way that he works is exactly fitted for that AEW crowd. And he could do something like there's a bunch of Ricochet clones at this point that are in that company that are going to be like, oh my God, I'm in the business because of this guy. So that's another added element, and it's going to be just really interesting to see him in that element, because not only in AEW, but in wrestling in general, like if he does go to TNA, young guys like Leon Slater are, you know, they came for Ricochet and from Ricochet, and a bunch of people on the indies, same thing. They wrestle like him, they dress like him, they work like. He's going to be running into so many of his babies, and that's really cool for me to see, I think.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what he ends up doing. I'm excited. I think just the idea of that wrestlers are jumping ship from both companies and free agency has been exciting for the last 2 or 3 years is why it's great that we have good competition and why all of this is good for wrestling and why the industry in this is in a healthy place. Because he can just decide out of nowhere, hey, maybe I want to try it out over there. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it'll happen. It'll happen with other guys that are with AEW as well. We got that weird spot on NXT this week of all the AEW guys that went over to NXT all in the same spot.
Interesting.
So more of that'll happen. We'll get more free agents from both companies. We'll get more people jumping ship. I don't know. I don't know what this means for Ricochet, but again, I am excited. Just the idea of him possibly being on that Wembley card, not just possibly having an Ospreay match. Man, idea of Ricochet versus Pac in Wembley, that sounds fire. There's a few matches
Ricochet versus Okada.
There's a few matches over there that I'd be really interested in him getting. He's got a few big matchups that I think would be dope. So,
like at minimum 10 fire matches in AEW, like off the bat. So that's probably the most interesting thing. But there's other places. There's still he came up in Dragon Gate. There's New Japan. There's all these European company. Like there's a lot of stuff he can do if he doesn't want to just immediately and go and get the big bag. I'm sure he probably wants to go immediately get the big bag though. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. Of course.
Where's the money? Here comes the money.
But yeah, I think it's dope. I you know what I always say. So if support great wrestlers, support them wherever they go. You don't have to just support companies. And I think the idea of him going out and betting on himself, which a lot of people that ended up in AEW have done, I think is cool.
Yep, and he might do the thing that those others have done before, go out, cook for a year or two, and come back. Like he's still young. He hasn't honestly feel like he's in either in his prime or still hasn't hit his prime, which is crazy just because of the way where like he could have a whole post career where he does 0 flips and it'll be just as great as the stuff he's doing. So I think there's a lot of time left for him. Interested to see where he goes. They're continuing to have this contract stuff coming up, and it's interesting because this was one where I was like, oh, he's gonna be one that signs. So like last week we're like, oh, everybody's probably gonna re-sign, and like he's not one of those ones. Do you think there'll be others?
Yeah. What's interesting to me right now is that all of this contract stuff is affecting Raw the most. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Because Ricochet is a Raw guy. Gable is his contract's coming up. And then also you just lost a bunch of people, whether it be the injury or something else. You just lost Seth Rollins. You lost Rhea Ripley. Becky is gone because of contract as well. You had banked on having CM Punk. He's still recuperating from a tricep injury. A lot of the people that you kind of banked on having in these big spots on Raw, and then you lost Cody as well. Cody went to SmackDown. So you lost a lot on Raw.
Damn, like Raw has, and you could tell too, because it doesn't really, I feel like going into WrestleMania season, it had like an identity, and now it doesn't really have an identity at all.
Because they put a lot of their chips in front of the Judgment Day stuff. And I think we got a decent enough payoff with Damian becoming champion.
Right.
But we didn't get a finish to any of the stuff with Rhea because she got injured. And I don't think that
and they just try to immediately slot Liv into the Rhea thing, and it doesn't hit the same.
It's not really hitting, at least for me.
Right.
But yeah, I think Raw at this moment is struggling the most because of the free agency stuff. It's interesting.
Right after the draft happens too, so it's like they're gonna have to.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you look at like SmackDown has picked up free agents. SmackDown has picked up Tama Tonga. They've picked up Tonga Loa. They've had good situations. Like,
what's going on?
Raw, it seems like is being hurt the most by this contract stuff.
And with this being, they're gonna soon go over to new networks and different things. This seems really interesting. All of this happening at the same time, and Raw being the most effective, because like for my whole life, Raw was the flagship show, and it just doesn't seam like that anymore. It's like, well, what are we gonna do with Raw? It's like almost like the redheaded stepchild. And
well, I mean, it was hidden. At one
it
point,
was. So I'm saying, I don't know what happened.
They had a lot going on. I mean, you still got stuff you can do. I like Gunther's still bubbling up. I assume by the end of this year that Gunther will be world champion.
Yeah.
They've got stuff going, but it's just like, man, all of this stuff hit at the same time, and it's been wild to watch.
Do you think, because we got the show coming up tomorrow that we're going to get into, them potentially having Drew as the champion could change things for them? Because if he's kind of I feel like if he's carrying the show, the tide could switch a little bit for him. Like, no disrespect to Damian Priest.
Yeah, I think Drew is still currently the hottest heel they've got on Raw.
Right.
There's basically Gunther then him,
Mm-hmm.
and I still think it's really it really feels like they were trying to wait to see what his contract situation was, and that's why they didn't keep the belt on him at Mania. But like, I can't see a world where he doesn't win it at Clash at the Castle. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't win.
That'd be one of the most surprising results in a long time. Because it feels like, again, you got it laid out on the platter. Here it is. Dude made himself super hot again.
Super
like
hot.
maybe even hotter than the Roman match.
This is I feel like this is the hottest he's been since he came back to WWE by far.
Right. Like, he's over. Like, this is the most perfect time you've ever gotten. And like I said, no disrespect to Damian Priest. I think he did his job had that great WrestleMania moment, has been carrying it like a champion and being a world champion, but like, it's Drew's time as fuck.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Which we'll get into. We're gonna get into Clash of Castle later, but just based off what I'm seeing right now, I kind of feel like it's Punk's moment. I mean, not Punk, but because I'm seeing Punk in the chat, it threw me off. It feels like it's Drew's moment.
Damn, like Ricochet, that's gonna be pretty wild. And I'm still thinking of like Natty too, because I'm like, people got Natty fucked up. If Natty go over there with TJ, like, shit's gonna be crazy.
I would keep saying, man, the idea of Natty and the Owen Hart Cup, I'm not mad at that.
With them, with all those women over there,
I'm not mad at that. And Natty been outside. She's been training. Joe Hendry just put up the video of him training with Natalya.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
really
man, Natty loves wrestling, man. Natty loves wrestling, and she's helped a lot of people behind closed doors that people don't know about.
Mm-hmm. The Chad Gable stuff, they're saying that he's the one that's gonna resign, right?
I have to assume he's coming back, man. He's in the middle of the biggest push of his main roster career. Probably the biggest push ever with WWE. I don't see him going anywhere.
With how things are going, I mean, Ricochet and Becky kind of being in limbo, I'm like, I mean, if somebody else offers him a lot of money, I couldn't see why not.
Yeah, I personally don't think he's going.
I don't see it.
I could be wrong.
With he getting the position that he's in, it'd be crazy, and like they haven't even paid off his story yet. But crazier things have happened.
Yeah. But yeah, Rick O'Shea could be heading to the AEW.
I think it's happening. If he's leaving WWE, like, where else would he go?
When I saw that he put in his notice, that really felt like, yeah, he probably got something. He probably got a deal lined up.
Something. And like, even if not, like, he knows who he is. Putting in notice, he's like, somebody's gonna give me some money.
Yeah, I really believe though, when you put in notice, that means you already got money. You already know that there's money. That there's money in talks already. There's already been some negotiations.
So you put in that 2 weeks and you're like, I'm gonna give y'all this 2 weeks just because, but I really want to get up out of here.
And listen, man, been fun. I met my wife here. We had some good times. We laughed, we cried, but I'm out, buddy.
He came up too. There was some controversy, I guess, because she posted a picture of them and he's supposed to be dead, I guess. And so people were like, I thought he was in a hospital. And it's like, you guys are so stupid.
That little troll voice she did was very funny.
She's good.
Oh, I thought he was fine. He looks fine to me. I thought that was hilarious.
She's really good. And like, I don't know if she plays any role in this, but they better lock her down. I know that.
She did some pretty good acting in that. Came out there running in her heels, trying to run carefully, and got back out there and was, giving up the crocodile tears and getting an ambulance with him.
Mm-hmm.
She did great.
Good job. I'm not mad at her. She's a generational talent. She can do everything.
Yeah. Got any more super chats? We got a bunch more super chats.
Yeah, we got a couple more super chats that have came in. BB says, lots of talk about cookouts lately. What wrestler would you invite to the cookout, and is it Cody?
No to both. I'm not inviting nobody to cookouts, and no, it ain't Cody. Stop it. Leave me alone.
Alexander Amada, I can't talk today, says Speed or Josh Alexander in NXT Championship tournament.
I don't know. I think currently, Josh Alexander would be cool over there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because they announced this week that
that happened during the segment with the cookout thing.
Yeah, they're gonna have a 25-person battle royal to determine the number one contender for Trick's championship. And Cody said there's gonna be people from different locker rooms, so we're all assuming that they'll be TNA people. I think I'd see Josh Alexander over Speedball over there, but I wouldn't be super surprised of seeing Speedball over there.
Yeah. I'm just gonna guess maybe Josh Alexander.
Yeah. Labglass says they need to build up the SmackDown 6 for Raw.
Yeah, they gotta build up their core guys again. They had it, but injuries kind of depleted them, and then like this free agency stuff.
They could move over some people from SmackDown that are like what are they doing with Carmelo over there? It's kind of weird. Like they could switch it up on Raw maybe.
I mean, I think Raw would eventually be fine because eventually Punk will be back. They still have Sami Zayn. They still have Gable.
That's true.
Technically, still have Gable. They still have Gunther. They got some wrestlers. They just gotta start.
Just a weird time right now.
Yeah, they just gotta shuffle some people around. And a lot of the big main storylines are wrapping up because of WrestleMania season, and they haven't given us anything fresh and new yet.
Right. Coffee Black says, shout out to the homies. Friday Grapsody is the perfect way to kick off my first Father's Day weekend. Also, Tala Tonga is certainly a choice. Is that how you say it? Tala? The Tala one?
Tala Tonga is crazy.
Is it that one or the Tala one? It's the Tala one.
Tama or Tala Tonga?
Is it Tama or is it the Tala one?
Yeah. That is So apparently, that is Hikuleo's actual real middle name is Tala.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's where this is potentially coming from.
Mm-hmm.
There is some word that Hikuleo is possibly wrapping up his time with New Japan. Dominion happened over the weekend as well. I still haven't watched all the Dominion. I've watched some of it. But after the big tornado elimination match, the new Gorillas of Destiny did lose the New Japan Strong belts again because they kept flip-flopping them back and forth, but they lost them again. TMDK is currently the IWGP Tag Champions and the New Japan Strong Tag Champions. And after the match, Hikuleo seemed like he was upset and he walked away from LP. And so people are saying that it seems like he's done with the company. I could see him showing up over here with his family and joining the new bloodline. Makes sense.
Do they have a match tomorrow?
Do they?
Like, could he show up tomorrow?
No, I don't think they have a match tomorrow.
This is crazy.
But I assume he's going to show up there eventually. If it's not,
definitely.
If it's not now, he's gonna show up eventually.
That's gonna be a wild gang. The Tonga boys, fucking against the other bloodline of Jacob possibly and Roman. Like they're legit gonna have a whole ass gang over there, and there's still some other guys that are bubbling on the indies.
Yeah, but yeah, we got quite a bit of news from Dominion. We got that happening.
And happy Father's Day to the homie Coffee Black too. Thanks for sharing.
Happy Father's Day. But yeah, we got quite a bit of news. We got It looks like Jeff Cobb is having an open challenge at Forbidden Door. Very excited for that. Hopefully it's Joe. We got new 6-man champions. LIJ beat the team of Takahashi. Wait, why am I missing this up? I have to get words in front of me because now I'm screwing up. Sorry. LIJ beat the team of Tanahashi, Toriano, and Bolton. So they're the new never opened 6-weight champions. Shingo won his match via draw with Hanare. I figure they're not done with Hanare and Shingo. We got big news with Shingo as well. Shingo announced that he will be entering the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Very excited for that.
Yes.
Very much feels like he could end up wrestling Bryan Danielson in the first round. That could possibly be his Forbidden Door match. Hopefully that is the case, but we shall see. Moxley won his lumberjack match against Evil. I expected him to win, but just the fact that we're still doing some of this House of Torture stuff.
It's still torture, man.
But yeah, Moxley won his match, and afterwards he called out anybody from New Japan to wrestle him at Forbidden Door, and it was Tetsuya Naito, who he beat for the belt at Windy City Riot. So they're gonna have their rematch in New York City. I somehow end up at both of those matches because I was there when Moxley beat him, and so I'm gonna be there for the rematch. And I kind of think that Naito's gonna beat him.
I would think so. Yeah, this is kind of a perfect setup. I love this kind of exchange of Naito losing it to Moxley, kind of cooking in New Japan for a little bit, but then being like, dude, I'm about to get my belt back. What the hell you think you're doing? You got it over there in America. You fucking around over here. Like, I'm coming for my shit. I'm coming for what's mine. And I think that match, because you need a big match for Naito too. We were thinking and kind of speculating what he would be. Like, just give him a rematch for his belt. The match that they'll work in that card, I think, is going to be really good.
Yeah. The main event was not the world title match, which people were not happy with in some, but it was a better match, I feel, because the shenanigans match, we didn't need to end the show on that. But we ended the night with the Best of Super Juniors finals. El Desperado took on Taiji Ishimori. Desperado won his first Best of Super Juniors trophy.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. He also had the Despy Invitational this week as well. I still haven't seen all of that. I'm behind, but it sounds like it was a fun show.
Yeah, a lot of people on the timeline were excitedly tweeting and watching along with it. So I definitely want to check that out. Shout out to Desperado, man. I think he's earned his position in New Japan for the last couple of years as one of their top stars, and he earned this win.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of good New Japan stuff coming up. Heading into Forbidden Door. We officially have our IWGP World Heavyweight title match. That's on the card now with our AEW World title match. We've got
those three things there: the Jeff Cobb Open Challenge, and the which other one am I thinking of?
Zack Sabre Jr. also challenged Orange Cassidy this week. So that's going to be on the card as well.
Some good stuff coming out. Some good, because we were debating on what kind of identity New Japan was going to have in this year as compared to last year, because the top of the card has changed. You know what I mean? They still haven't really. Okada has been so like they haven't.
He's been quiet. But I think he'll have a match.
He doesn't feel connected to the Forbidden Door stuff at all.
Yeah, but I think he'll have a match by Forbidden Door. I think the good thing about this year's build to Forbidden Door is that there are long-time stories that are building here. You had to build for the IWGP match. It doesn't feel like, hey, we need an IWGP heavyweight title match for this card. Let's just put a bunch of random people in a match and do it.
Yeah,
like there's an actual story that's been building here for months. You're actually building multiple stories with the women that have been going since April or longer. So I think that's good. I think and even the Zack Sabre Jr. thing with Orange Cassidy, that's based on some stuff.
It's a story
that's played out for a while. It's not just stuff that we're building up to at the last minute. And I really like the idea of the New Japan wrestlers having an adversarial relationship with AEW now, and that's the build to this show. It's not just, hey, partnership, dream matches for the sake of. It's actually like rivalries and stories.
Yeah, kind of like them versus us instead of like we're all working together, one big happy family. It feels like different energy. You got like Gabe Kidd being like, I don't care about none of them over there. This is real rap over here in New Japan. Like, love that energy. They got to get the bro on the card.
And that's my man's match, man. He's been tweeting stuff. I'm like, yo, get this guy on the card. What's going on?
He's trying. He is trying. I like that. No, that's what the energy kind of bring, because that's what Jeff Cobb did too. Jeff Cobb was like, what's this bullshit though? Like, y'all talking all of this. We got to jump through all these hoops to work with y'all. Y'all should be jumping through hoops to work with us. And now he's going to do this open challenge thing again. Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Very curious to see who Jeff Cobb is going to wrestle. But yeah, that should be a strong match. Man, I didn't even think of that A-Shock, but I would not be mad at MJF versus Gabe Kidd. That could be some heat. Did not even think about that.
That is really good. Oh yeah, Gabe Kidd and MJF, and let them promo against each other before too.
Come on, man.
Brother. Get
the cat excited, bro.
Come on.
Cat excited.
Yo, I hadn't thought of that at all. That's a great matchup right there, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, good card so far. Very much excited for that show coming up. See, we got some more Humper chats.
I am blown away. What a great match.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That
That's
sounds
hard.
Absolutely fire. Tony says, now about Clash. Phil, do you still feel Cody is winning with knowing who is with him over there now? Also, do you think it's smart to have all the Scots go 0-3? I am curious as well about the World Heavyweight. No, I'm sorry. He means the women's heavyweight championship scene after at Survivor Series when Big Goop becomes champ. Also, I had it right the first time. I was confused. He's got World Heavyweight title scene. Sounds like there's a smoke alarm going on.
Yeah, something's going off back there.
Sorry, guys.
Careful. Hope everybody's okay over there. Yeah, I've been seeing that people are running with this. Oh, Cody's mom's going to be there, so that must mean he's going to lose the I Quit match. I'm like, how are you guys connecting those dots? I mean, Cody would, like, if you're thinking like, well, what kind of finish could we use in this match? Cody would be like, I'll bring my mom and we'll use her in that. So I'm not totally against this idea, but I just can't see Cody losing at this point in it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's 5 matches. We can get into the Clash card.
Yeah, let's get into the Clash. The Clash at the Cast. I wonder if Drew McIntyre is going to sing at the end of this again.
Please don't.
Why does he talk like that? That wasn't his plan, because he's like, that's the worst moment that happened. Is he saying that in kayfabe now?
Yeah, because I think he knows people didn't like it, so now he's trying to distance himself from it.
He's trying to act like that wasn't his idea, essentially.
It might have been impromptu in the moment, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Clash of the Castle. We got 5 matches. They're pretty much sticking with the short matches. We've got, for the World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest taking on Drew McIntyre. We got a little bit into it. I think Drew's gonna win here. Yeah.
Damian Priest has, like I said, he got the great moment. He has been not the greatest run. I think some of his promos, like I said, I don't really believe him. And like, it's like, I know you, like, as the character, you're like, I'm the champion, I'm carrying myself this way, but I just don't believe that he really feels like he's at the top. And that, I think, is going to play into the reason why Drew McIntyre beats him tomorrow.
Yeah, I can see it. I think I just can't see Drew losing here, man. Like, especially he lost at Clash last time, and that was such an unpopular booking decision. I just can't see him losing again.
Do you think it changes because he's the heel now? Like he was essentially the babyface last year coming into it, but he's not. He's like a cool heel, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've been thinking the whole time that Damien's basically a transitional champion. I don't see him winning here. And I know people are like, well, Punk can come in and cost him. I think Punk would get booed very heavily in Scotland if he does that. It's possible, but I just don't see why you would do that. I think it would be better to just give Drew the win.
Do you think because Gunther has the built-in title match at SummerSlam? That's why I'm like, do you think they are going to run him and Drew?
I personally think that Drew versus Gunther is the better match.
Me too.
I think that Damien can have a good match with Gunther because it's Gunther. But personally, I think Drew versus Gunther is going to hit a lot harder.
What about the result, though? You think that they're going to give it to Gunther or they're going to stretch his win a little bit longer?
See, I don't know that part either, man. And
that's why tomorrow I'm like, maybe they will give Damien the win because I don't know if they want, because then they could give Gunther the win at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah. Then they've kind of muddied it by announcing the SummerSlam opponent so far ahead. I don't know. I'm saying that they should just give Gunther the win, but this is wide open. It could go either way.
Right. Drew tomorrow, though. Like, I don't think you could do 2 clashes in a row and have him lose twice. That would be insane.
That would be wild.
In the main event, 2 losses.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Drew's gonna win here. That's my guess.
Yeah.
For the WWE Women's Championship, Bayley will be taking on Piper Nivens. Shout out to Piper. Piper had a pretty good promo, and I think she's gotten the best out of this whole thing. But Bayley's winning here. I don't see any world where Piper wins.
Good for Piper. Like he said, a lot of people have been talking about this promo. Like I've been seeing people all week been like, yeah, Piper Cook, she did this. And she earned her way onto this card. And she has been a really great wrestler for a long time, and she deserves to be here. But yeah, still Bayley's time. I think that Bayley in ring has been cooking. This has potential to be a sleeper match on the card, and I hope that they get the adequate amount of time. With these 5 match cards, most people have been getting an adequate amount of time. So,
yeah, they should get plenty of time. It's only 5 matches on this card. There's no excuse to make this a short match. Like, give these women time.
Right.
And it's no, I was about to say it's the only women's match, but there's also the women's tag match.
Match.
Which, speaking of, we have a triple threat for the WWE Women's Tag Match, tag belts. I don't know if you saw, but Jade just put on IG that she lost her bag the other day. Hopefully she gets that back by the time it's time to go to the show. I would assume that she needs her gear and stuff out of there.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to lose your bag, the worst time to lose your bag, your tag team partner, this is probably the best time you can lose your bag with the tag team partner that makes great gear. Like if you're like, yo, Bianca, I need help. Homegirl, like, let me get something real quick.
That's a quick turnaround. Yeah.
While she's probably trying to make her own gear.
Yeah. Somebody, A-Shock in our chat is saying Kaylee Ray is going through a heartbreaking time in her life this week. Rest in peace to her mom.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that story?
I didn't.
Dude, Kaylee Ray's mom came to visit her in America in Florida. And her stepdad or dad got hit by a car.
Oh no!
While on vacation visiting Kaylee Ray, and her mom didn't make it. So rest in peace to Kaylee Ray's mom. Yeah, she came to visit her daughter, her wrestling daughter, and she died. So rest in peace to her mom. That's insane.
That's terrible. Rest in peace. Condolences to Kaylee and her family. Alba Fire, for people who are confused. But yeah, that's awful.
Insane.
That's awful news.
Yeah.
Bianca and Jay will be defending their belts against Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Hopefully this gets time, same way I'm saying with the other women's match. I think that this can be a good match.
What's the result here?
I mean, I think Bianca and Jade are gonna retain. I don't see them losing here.
How do you feel about Shayna and Zoe? I like wanna like Zoe Starks, but something ain't connecting. I love Shayna, but I don't know.
I love Shayna, man. I think she looked great over the weekend in the underground match. And
I like that.
I think her penchant to wear jerseys has rubbed off on Zoe, because Zoe now comes out with like the basketball jersey, and Shayna has like the baseball jersey. I like them together in theory. I think they're both extremely likable. I think they're both extremely talented, but I just don't really see it in like a tag team with like longevity. It seems like they're constantly putting her being Shayna with somebody and seeing if this one sticks, and this just seems like kind of more of that.
Why don't they want to push her as a singles wrestler?
I just don't get it, man. She's so good. I just don't get it.
Every time I see her, we're like in the underground match against Lola, I was like, why don't they just let her do more stuff like this? Like, they want her to be in a tag team so bad, but like, if you just like have her as a killer contender for those championships, she could be playing a way greater role than she plays now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this is Bianca and Jade's match to win at this point. I feel like at some point you've got to come back around and put it on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, right?
I would think so. Like, I'm like, they potentially have a shot at winning this. I'm sure they're gonna play a role, and because do you think this is leading to this reign is leading to Jade and Bianca at SummerSlam, or are they gonna stretch it all the way into WrestleMania?
I think they're going to try and stretch it to Mania, if I had to guess.
So, yeah, I think they're going to probably hold these championships for a while at this point.
Me too. I think they're going to hold the belts for a minute. We've got a rematch for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn will be defending his belt against Big Chad Gable.
There we go.
I kind of think this is it. I think this is the time. Put the belt on Chad.
I think with all the story that they've been telling for the last couple months, that this is finally Chad Gable's time. Like you said, we've been talking about this contract stuff, so there is that stuff looming over Chad Gable's head. But it seems like this week he might be finalizing his deal to get over there. This match is going to be insane. The crowd's going to be fucking molten for it. But this is Chad Gable's time with the story they've been telling. Sami Zayn's at the perfect point to lose, with the story he's been telling. Like, it's Chad's time.
Yeah, you can easily move Sami up to the world heavyweight title
with Drew winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's time. Put the belt on Chad, man. I don't know if that's my prediction, but that's what I want to happen.
Right. I'm trying to think of the scenario where Sami wins, and it makes way more sense for Chad to win.
Yeah.
Chad.
Yeah. Big Chad, buddy. Finally, probably our main event. We've got Cody Rhodes taking on AJ Styles in I Quit match. Well, will it be the main event? Drew could possibly main event.
Drew might main event.
Either way. Our second big world heavyweight championship match. Cody Rhodes will be taking on AJ Styles in a big I Quit match. I think that, to answer Tony's question, I do think Cody is going to retain here. I think that there's interest in AJ as champion, but I still think there's still so much room and so much stories to tell with Cody. It doesn't feel like we scratched the surface with him as champion yet. It feels way too soon to take the belt off of him, especially with the coronation you had for him at WrestleMania. That was only 2 months ago.
It seems like a lifetime ago, but yeah, you're right.
It was only 2 months ago, and I feel like there's still more you can do with this. I still assume that he's got a big bloodline match coming up for SummerSlam. There's a report that it could be Solo Sikoa, which I personally think it's going to be Roman. But if it's going to be Solo, that tells me that Roman is not ready to come back.
Roman's kicking it. He's at home. Yeah.
But we don't know. I still think that for SummerSlam, with all the bloodline stuff they've been doing on SmackDown, he's going to have some opponent from Bloodline.
That match will not. I hope it's not Solo. I fucks with Solo, but him and Cody, that's not really a big SummerSlam main event. But this match, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of people saying, "Hey, AJ might win. Cody's bringing his mom." I'm like, I guess they could do there's this pay-per-view Money in the Bank next week, kind of next month between this pay-per-view and SummerSlam. They could make a transition thing back and forth between AJ and Cody, but I just don't really see it. Just like Phil said, hearing him say 2 months, it seems like Cody's been champion for a year, but like legit only for 2 months, and I just can't see them taking that away for this moment for AJ Styles, especially when I think that Drew's gonna get the big moment in this show anyways.
Yeah, I think Cody's going to retain. I think his mother is going to be there strictly for drama purposes. I think AJ is definitely.
They're going to do the throw in the towel gimmick probably with her.
He's definitely going to have Cody hemmed up in some way in front of his mother. He's going to be saying, ask him. And, Cody's probably going to have blood trickling down his face.
Yes.
But I do think Cody's going to retain here.
A lot of drama, but yeah, Cody Rhodes is going to continue to be the champion after this show. But I think that crowd heat that this show's going to have, it's not going to matter about a lot of the results.
Yeah, all of these people that continue to try and manifest fans turning on Cody, this guy is still extremely over.
Over.
Before we started this, I saw him doing the good old crowd surfing. He fell backwards in the crowd, and they were like carrying him. I was like, buddy, this guy's
so over.
Man. He's definitely going to retain here, I think.
They keep just because the positions that they put him in, and people think that they don't like his reign and stuff. No, dude is still over. Listen to them live crowd reactions, and people love them some Cody Rhodes.
I mean, as much as I dislike the discourse this week, I don't think that some of the discourse would have went over as well with some fans if people didn't really like this guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Since he's connected to it, it feels for some fans okay. Not okay for me. I fucks with Cody. I'm a huge fan.
Not me. Cody. Love Cody, but nah. I'm good on that discourse, but nah, this guy's still extremely popular, and I think there's still a lot more you can do with him as champion.
Same here. What it is, I don't know. I don't know who will be his other contender if he's not getting immediately into bloodline stuff, but I'm sure they'll figure it out.
I think we're going to get the bloodline match, and I think that they're pushing the Orton match off because they're saving it for another pay-per-view. I think we're eventually going to get Cody versus Orton. Totally. I just don't know when.
Money in the Bank? That could be a big Money in the Bank match.
Maybe so.
Because you don't need a long time build for that. They already got the build.
Yeah. Quick, easy peasy card. That will be coming to you live tomorrow in Scotland. Big early pay-per-view for you guys. Early pay-per-views are always fun. You can get the wrestling out the way and then have the rest of your day. I guess Collision that night as well. It's always wrestling on. You'll always find some kind of wrestling to watch.
Wrestling's on every day. I'm always behind. I'm hella behind. I've missed 100 shows. But yeah, morning show, they're counter programming us. That's why you're listening to us now. They continuing it with these short 5-match cards that are just quick and to the point, 3 hours and they're out of there. So shout out to them.
Yeah. We got some more. Got some AEW news. We got some more stuff to get into. Before we do that, gonna hit you guys with a word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about betonline.ag, the official betting partner of Fightful. It's not just an online platform. They've been trusted for over 25 years. They boast a focus on the player approach and have built their reputation on offering their clients nothing but the best. From cutting-edge technology to enticing promotions and the latest sports betting odds. Whether it be wrestling, MMA, boxing, or football, baseball, basketball, or racing, anything you can think of. All major sporting events are covered by betonline.ag. Fast payouts, highest credit card acceptance industry-wide, safe and secure online environments, and their live betting feature allows you to bet on your favorites weekly and easily and in real time. betonline.ag. That's where we're going at Fightful. That's where we suggest you go as well. That's where we get all of our odds at. betonline.ag. Only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly.
BetOnline.ag is the place to go for your betting needs. Please, as usually, bet responsibly.
Please.
We've got some more Humper chats.
Mm-hmm.
Got some more from Tony P. He says, on the AEW, Swerve/Will is going to go to war at Forbidden Door after that ending Wednesday. This year's Owen is going to be an all-timer, as well with Shingo and Pac in it now. Excited to see the next entrance for the men's and women's. We also got Blood and Guts coming July 24th. Yeah, we got kind of a lot of build for Forbidden Door this week. We got some Owen Hart Cup build as well. Because, as stated earlier, Shingo entered his hat into the race.
Yes, sir.
Brian already threw his hat in the race. Then we got a really good promo from Pac in a dimly lit hallway. Always the best kind of Pac when he's got some light flickering and
It's perfect.
He can get into his bag. I love Pac, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be mad at Pac winning the Owen Hart Cup, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for him to be in it. But yeah, that promo is perfect with the light just kind of like shimmering across his self and him being really upset and saying he is supposed to be a bastard, but he's actually a bitch. I'm like, yo, no, Pac's in his bag right now. I think the matches that he's going to have in the Owen are going to be fire.
Yes.
And him showing that he wants to win it, I think is a good thing for his character. And it's true, like in kayfabe, like you've came back, but most of the time you've lost. So like, what's up? What are you doing?
Yeah, and I like that he straight away said that, a big part of him entering it is because he wants the Wembley match. And I really like that that concept this year for the Owen is that before with Wembley, it was one of those things where, hey, this is a big show and all these wrestlers are like, how do I get on this card? And now you have a built-in way for them to get on that card. You have UK wrestlers that want a spot on this card like Pac or Mariah or Saraya, and they're immediately like, all right, well, I just got to win Owen. And we're lit. So I thought that's great. I don't know who the other entrants are so far. We've got 3 entrants, but so far, man, this sounds like a great tournament. I don't know who I would pick as my next few entrants, but just the build we've got so far is looking great. Still waiting for this announcement to come through, but I have to assume Shingo versus Bryan is going to be the match.
Right. I'm thinking that that's going to be the one that happens at Forbidden Door. I mean, Shingo, Pac, and Bryan Danielson. Like, if you were just like, that's all the guys that are in it, I'd be like, this is going to be the best tournament of all time. Like, we don't even know who else is going to be in it. I'm interested to see Shingo in a big one-on-one match at Forbidden Door. I think it's been a couple of years of him being involved in like a multi-man match or something like that. No, we need a Shingo match with some time. And if it's Shingo and Bryan Danielson, bro, like, come on, man, that's going to be insane. I want it.
Give it to me. And there's precedent for it because we got the opening match for the Owen last year at Forbidden Door. That's where Punk wrestled Kojima Lariat. So yeah, that could be the match this year. Very excited for that. Hopefully, based on what they're doing so far with Bullet Club Gold and how they've brought Juice back and they've made it known that he's now the 4th man in the trios belt. So that seems like they're making that the case so that Jay White can do more singles things. Maybe that means he's also going to be in the Owen. I really hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the women's side, we've got Mariah is also in the race. Coming out of the match on Saturday, which was actually fire. Big fan of Lady Frost.
Yeah.
I think that Tony had a good match with her. I thought the promo and the vignette for it were amazing. I thought Lady Frost's promo afterwards that went online was super heat.
Yeah, Lady Frost really, she's great in the ring, but when she's given moments like that to just like talk about what's going on here, she's fire.
Yeah, maybe that means she's gonna enter in the Owen too. I don't know, but I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'm mad at it at all.
But yeah, based off of that win afterwards, Tony told Mariah that she was going to end her into the Owen Hart Cup. Go figure. There's some story stuff here to Saraya just beating her on TV. And Tony sitting at the commentary desk and letting it happen. She's just like, "Oh no, Mariah, darling, you got to get out of this."
Yeah, Tony kind of being the advocate for her entering, and Mariah being like, yeah, no, totally, I want to win this thing anyways, and if I got your backing, I'm really gonna win this. Really great stories to be told there.
Yeah, is this me, or does this feel like the beginning of the Tony face turn? Because this was a very face thing to do of entering her into the tournament. Because at the beginning of their relationship, it was just kind of like, I don't watch your matches. Of course, you're a fan of me. Whatever. Like, get my towel. But she just was just kind of treating her like a hanger on. And now you see they have like an actual developed relationship. And it's not just like, you're here to help me win my matches. I also want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And so it feels like not just her turning face, but you could also see the inklings of possibly Mariah staying or turning heel. Very interesting stuff going into Wembley. Right now, Mariah has to be the favorite to win the women's Owen. I really like what they're doing there. I would not be surprised if they double back to the Saraya match and she beats Saraya this time and moves on to get the match at Wembley.
What a great story to be telling of Mariah coming in and being like, no, I infiltrated her. They could use I tricked her, blah blah blah, just to get to this championship. And look at how exactly what you described. Look at how she started. At first, she didn't even want me to be around. Now she's entering me in the Owen. She's my biggest cheerleader. Like, she wants all this, and I'm taking everything from her. And then what that could lead to Tony's character going to. This is a really great story that they're telling.
Yeah. And you have in the midst of that still the build to Forbidden Door,
Yep,
with the Mina Shirakawa stuff,
adding to it too.
Yeah, and then also, Chris Statlander had her match on Collision. Her new theme song is fire.
That's heat.
Love it. She is also entering into the Women's Owen Hart Cup, and right afterwards, Willow announced that she also will be entering. So right now, women's field is looking pretty strong with just those three women in it.
Strong.
Very much looking forward to some of those matchups. Anytime Statlander's in the mix, I know we're going to get some good matches.
Yeah, if they, I kind of where Chris's character has went and what she's doing, I want to see her mix it up again with people she's already mixed it up with, because I know it's going to be so different. Yeah, I think this is kind of Mariah's tournament to win, though. Mariah going to Wembley against Toni Storm, like, that's a huge, gigantic match. You know what I mean? UK wrestlers going against each other. That's a huge, gigantic match.
Well, Tony's from Australia, correct?
Oh yeah, you know, white people, they are from the same place. I think that Toni Storm getting to have that big moment and that big payoff, and in story and in real life, getting to give that moment to Mariah, I think is really awesome.
Yeah,
the UK crowd is gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah, and hats off to Toni. I keep saying how incredible she is, but the promos have continued to be heat, and the matches have
getting
better and better. I think she's been a phenomenal champion. I really like the storyline they're telling currently. Really excited for where this could go. But other than that, we got more Forbidden Door build. Like I said, we got stuff coming from the New Japan show this weekend. We've got the door open upstairs, so I can hear an ambulance passing by.
There's a lot going on in Chicago today.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so we got some more build to Forbidden Door. I thought all of the stuff that they did on this show to build to it was also strong, but they've also started building to Blood and Guts in the middle of that. So so it's a lot of juggling going on.
They're building to the Owen, Blood and Guts, Forbidden Door. They're doing all kinds of shit at this time. It's crazy.
Yeah, so excited for that. I don't know how I feel about the storyline they're doing with Blood and Guts. Elite came out and they challenged somebody from AEW to face them in Blood and Guts because they feel like they still don't have the respect they're owed, which I don't know how that makes sense. You guys won the Anarchy in the Arena match, so you really, at this point, don't have anything to prove. It should be a team of AEW guys challenging them.
Yeah, I agree. Because kind of like, I guess with the story that Swerve has been telling, because when he was like, next time you guys have a match representing AEW, I need to be the one. I need to be on that squad too. So that element, but yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense of Elite being like, you guys still don't respect us when they've been doing everything to the opposite of that. They just it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I also don't know how I feel about just how they're booking the Bucks currently as tag champions. Not really a fan. I thought that this was going to be the reset, and they were going to actually like defend the belts, and we were going to have more tag team wrestling weekly, and that hasn't happened yet.
What FTR did with those championships on Collision, and they were defending them almost on a weekly basis, and they were really adding some prestige onto them. Like, I want that again. I was like, I thought that the Young Bucks getting the belts was going to reestablish kind of what it is, but they don't defend the belts at all.
Yeah, we got the unfortunate news that Dax is suffering from an injury, so he's going to be out indefinitely. Damn. So it seemed like that was leading from the Anarchy in the Arena match. FTR were going to be a part of Team AEW. Now they're out, and just immediately seeing like the void they left behind of just not only them being in this match, but just like what you said about them with the tag belts. I think a lot of people should be giving it up to FDR. They were unsung heroes of this company for a minute. They were putting on fire matches.
The built-in big tag match is FTR. Like,
yeah,
put them against FTR. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, they were doing it. They were doing a lot. They were putting on great matches on Collision. Gave us the great feud with ROH a year ago. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish that Dax the best. That injury does look very nasty. The pictures that he keeps putting up, that does look pretty gnarly.
Them brothers go hard as hell, Phil. So anytime they announce something like that, I'm like, I'm not surprised. Y'all motherfuckers be going 100 miles per hour in every match. But yeah, that's funny because we were talking about that while FTR were champions, of like what kind of they're representing as champions. And now looking back in hindsight, it's like, damn,
they could use some time off.
Yeah, definitely. They could use some time off for sure.
Bad timing, of course.
Terrible timing.
They could use some time off. Hopefully Dax gets well soon and he'll be ready to go soon.
Yeah, shout out to Dax. Hopefully it's not too long that he's out, because they were cooking, and he was cooking as a singles wrestler too. So this feels like what they announced of next week. Young Bucks are going to have an eliminator match against Acclaimed. It feels like the Acclaim's being slotted into FTR spot. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I get why. I get the connection between that team and the Acclaimed.
Like Team AEW, they're homegrowns. They've been around. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not.
It don't hit the same.
It doesn't quite hit the same, because a lot of the storytelling they've been doing up to this point has been based off of the Collision guys, and i.e. Punk and Friends. And if you don't have FTR in there, it just kind of feels like now we've just completely diverged from the plot. I don't know if there's a better option than the Acclaim, now that I'm thinking about it. Like a big babyface team that you can slide in.
I try to think about it. I'm like, Acclaim does, like I said, homegrown, what they represent. Like,
yeah.
Acclaim, yeah.
It feels like, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of adding Acclaim to that spot, because when we did get the segment with Swerve and the Elite, and I thought that segment was going well, but once we got towards the end of it, I didn't really like that Matt line. That was kind of weird. The whole, what's that flying around? The injury bug is going to get you. And I was like,
no. We probably shouldn't make light of that, I think.
That wasn't a great line, but that, and then that immediately turned into the Acclaim coming out. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I maybe wanted them to. Acclaim went from Billy Gunn, and the stuff that they were doing with Billy Gunn was, I don't want to say silly, but it was on some other stuff. I wanted them to like build up their stock again of who the Acclaim is, and they're serious and why they should be in this position, instead of just like, they've been here for a long time, they could represent that too. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like, who could be it? Let's put the Acclaim, instead of like, they should be in this position, you know?
I also still think if you weren't just trying to pick a tag team, I think if you're just trying to pick Team AEW to go against them, I really like the idea of the current AEW World Champion and the remaining three pillars. I think that also would have worked. I think having Darby, MJF, and Sammy on that team representing Team AEW also makes sense as well. Probably doesn't hit quite the same as FDR as well, but it's still, I think, is possibly a better alternative.
Is it five? It's 5-on-5, right? Yeah. So
yes.
what? Team AEW could be Swerve, the Acclaim, and then the other guys that were in Anarchy in the Arena, Brian and Darby.
Yeah, that's why I'm assuming we're going.
And then the Elite is the Bucks, Okada, Jack Perry, and Hangman Page.
Maybe. I have to assume, because again, if they're over there starting the He-Man We Hate Punk club, we got him up out of here. Kind of need Hangman to join the crew.
And who's the Swerve hater? Big Hangman.
Yes.
So,
yeah. But that's why I'm like, I kind of feel like the pillars kind of fit better in that spot.
Yeah.
The pillars would have reason to have beef with Jack.
Yep.
MJF.
I mean, the pillars would have reason to beef with all of them over there, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you already got one of the pillars in Darby over there. I don't know. But at this point, we're trying to salvage it because it's just a situation. But it's blood and guts, so I'm sure it'll be an exciting match.
Of course.
I just wish that stars would have aligned and we got the build that we were supposed to get.
Does it feel like every blood and guts kind of this situation? Like, wasn't Brian supposed to be in like 2 blood and guts before or some, and unfortunate things happen? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be a great match regardless. Swerve's gonna be in there, Bucks are gonna be in there, Okada, like it's gonna be some heat.
Yeah, I just think that it's diverged so far from where it eventually was. Like, because initially, the Bucks stuff was happening from them airing the footage, and that what brought Jack in, and then you had FDR in the mix, and of course you had Darby in the mix for similar reasons. And now it's like, okay, well, the Claim might have beef, but they don't have the same intermingled beef that those guys had.
See, that's the issue that you run into with I see this a lot in WWE when like the stipulation is just a monthly pay-per-view instead of to cap off a really blood feud. So when Hell in the Cell became the October pay-per-view, it's like, well, we're in October, we have to have a Hell in the Cell match, who's going to be in it, instead of these two guys are feuding to the death and we should put this in the Hell in the Cell. Now it's like, well, Blood and Guts is going to be in July. This is what we initially want. Now all these things are happening. Now we have to make things work and make the story work in order to go in there. And that's kind of the issue you run into. Like I said, you end up having a great match anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just unfortunate when you have to try to make sense of getting there.
Yes.
Make that make sense.
Yeah. Well, just like I said, it's fine. I'm sure the match will still be good. I just think,
right.
And it just also looks messy because you're also juggling 2 other builds. You're trying to build the Owen Hart Cup, and you're still building to your pay-per-view that's this month. And you're trying to salvage the build to this thing at the same time. So,
and you still, like you said, you got champions involved. Like the Bucks are the champs and they're not defending their belts. Okada has the belt. This guy has the belt. You know what I mean? So it's like there's other stories that could be getting told, but you got to tell them over here. So it's like it's a lot going on.
Yeah, I initially thought that the Christopher Daniels authority figure was going to be like, oh, a means to an end at this part of the storyline. I didn't know it was going to be a regular all the time thing. He was going to be making announcements all the time, and I'm just like, I don't really know if that's for me, but I guess.
Phil, they got an Adam Pearce that looks just like Adam Pearce. I'm like, okay, it's a little too on the head, I think.
It feels very much like WWE authority figure, and it happens to look like WWE authority figure that's currently ahead of Raw.
It looks like the thing, and then he looks like the person also. Is like, I don't know if that's it. Yeah, when it initially happened, I thought he was just gonna get them to Blood and Guts, but now it's just like, no, he's on the show, he's making matches, and I'm like, I don't like it. I don't want him. I don't want like, oh, here comes Christopher Daniels, his music. He's gonna come make a match. I don't think we need that. I hate authority figures, so I'm never gonna be into it.
Yeah, I don't mind authority figures. I just think in the way that they're doing it currently, I could really take it or leave it. I'm sure that is also the talking point of the Jericho stuff again this week. I don't want to keep coming on every week and repeating that I'm not enjoying this, but yeah, not really enjoying it.
People are like, this one was better this week, and I'm like, what?
Not for me.
I just don't like. I think I like elements of it, but I don't like whatever character Jericho thinks he's doing. I don't. It don't seem right. That's it.
But I brought up the Jericho stuff to say that as much as I'm not enjoying this, buddy, am I so happy that they got Hook away from this guy. Because what the stuff he's doing with Joe is fantastic. The segment from Collision of them talking about lacrosse and then knocking on the door and then going in there beating those guys up, I thought that was hilarious.
That made me cry. Joe's like, is that a sport you guys made up?
Very, very funny stuff. Shibata filming the whole thing. Really, really funny. And then that led to the match this week. Shibata still filming this stuff. I'm sure that is going to turn into meme material of him coming down the ramp with the camera. Really, really funny.
And they did the bit again. Joe's like, so what's up with your dad in orange? Like, is it me? I'm like, this is whatever this is they created off the backs of that is really great.
Bro, I love it. It's so good. I did not expect to like this as much, but when they initially started teasing that Joe was going to recruit Hook, I was like, oh, I'm here for this. But boy, these segments so far are money.
Man, yeah, and I like Samoa Joe is honestly the perfect person for Hook as a character, and in real life to attach himself to, because they kind of present Hook like they've presented Samoa Joe over the years, so like it makes sense that they are together.
Yeah, really excited to see where this goes. Hopefully they've got more plans. I hope this isn't just the Wardlow bit again, where they act like they're together and, he's got a mentee until he eventually turns on him. I'm not as interested in that.
Not interested. Your boy Wardlow's trying to get him a Max match, but every time Max is on TV, he like takes to Twitter and he's like, fuck this guy. He thinks he wants to be me. You're not buff. You're not anything.
Oh, you're a wolf now? Now you still in my wolf bit?
I'm like, man, Wardlow get the Twitter fingers quick. All of a sudden, he wants to be a wolf, huh? Like, man, Wardlow is mad.
Big upset. Big mad.
How did you like the Max and Roosh stuff from this week?
I thought Roosh coming out and beating the snot out of somebody and then continuing to beat them down while calling Americans losers and cowards is exactly the kind of carrying on that I love to see Roosh doing. And then Max coming out and brawling with him into the audience and into the back. I thought it was great. We're getting that match to open the show next week, I believe.
Yeah.
They're saying it's going to be commercial free.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. I think that match is going to be fire.
Thank you. That's a match that I thought that could be on Forbidden Door, but Roosh, I don't know if he can be over there. I don't know. You got to get Max on that Forbidden Door card, though, because I remember initially when these started feuding, I was asking Denise, like, do you think this card is going to be on Forbidden Door? And she's like, Roosh isn't going to. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, Max has to be on there. So you think they're going to pay this feud off next week, or they're gonna do this and then get Max to Forbidden Door, then get back to it?
I assume that I don't see this going that far. I think he's probably gonna have the match with Roosh next week, but I don't think that's gonna lead to it being a pay-per-view match.
Got you. They're just gonna do it and then that's it. Move on.
Man, now I've it's ruined for me now. This Gabe Kidd thing is in my head. I'm like, man,
the Gabe Kidd thing is fire, bro. Nah, it is ruined for me too. I'm like, yo, that is almost perfect, honestly. Book that shit tonight.
Yeah. But, I could see it ended up being a draw and then get a second match or something. But I don't think it's going to be a pay-per-view match. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't think so. It's going to be a fire-ass match next week, though.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. I thought all the matches that hit on this card were great. I thought the the trios conglomeration match was fantastic. That promo beforehand, Mark Briscoe backstage, incredible. Mark just being Mark, and everybody around him being like, "What's happening?" Like Willow trying to walk in menacing, and then he just starts going off, and she's got like this big smile on her face, and Kyle O'Reilly's looking around like, "What's happening here?" the whole time, and he's like utterly delighted by the entire thing. Yeah. What a great segment! And then the match was a lot of fun as well.
The match was super fun. It was one of those just spot food. Everybody's in doing their shit, going off. Mark Briscoe, that promo was fire. I love him being still present on these shows. I wish he was present as a Ring of Honor World Champion, but you know, can't always get what you want.
Yeah, I don't understand why they can't strike this right balance of having the ROH guy on the show. And you would think Mark Briscoe would be the guy to do it with. He is an ROH standout. He's been, I don't know, man. Like, just think about this at one point. At one point, they wouldn't put the Briscoes on AEW television. And now Mark Briscoe's on there all the time, and he's not on ROH.
They can't get him back to Ring of Honor. I'm like, what happened here? This is so weird. I mean, yeah, it's I don't want to say it's an AEW issue, but it is of like, we made this person champion, and now we don't defend. It's the Young Bucks thing. They're the champs, and they don't defend the belts. Mark Briscoe's the champion. He doesn't defend the belt. It's like I don't know if they don't want the champion to lose. They don't want it to be presented in a certain way, but like that's probably the most frustrating thing for me.
Yeah,
because people are like, they have all these championships, but I'm like, they don't even defend them half the time. So what does it really matter?
Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, still a gem to see on TV. Still a lot of fun to watch. And it kind of bothers me to a little bit of a degree that it happened after Jay passed away. Like, I hate that those guys didn't get a chance to do what he's doing currently on AEW when Jay was still here. It just feels a bit bittersweet. But
like, one of my favorite tag teams of all time, in my top 5 tag teams of all time, the tag team division that they have was built off of what these guys did, and they never got to cook up there. Is really just so unfortunate. Sad.
It's sad. But that trios match was a lot of fun. We got a very long Dustin match. I don't understand why this match was so long.
You liked it?
Maybe it was just me. I thought the story of it was good, but I think you could have told that story in less time.
Totally.
I think bits of it really hit.
I think they're trying to make Jack like, you know, a dude, a menacing person. He beat ass, but it's like maybe a little too long, I think.
I think it went on a bit too long, but I think the story of it was great. I think there were things about it that I really liked. Like, I really liked the finish of it.
Yeah.
Dustin getting his old man middle finger up, like shaking his hand, like, why I oughta, and then he just gets smacked with that glass jaw knee strike and puts him away. I thought that was a good finish.
Teasing Kenny Omega.
Yes, continuing to tease Kenny Omega.
He
did do a V-trigger tease at one point in this match.
Interesting. I'm like, he wouldn't tease him for nothing, right?
No, I get Kenny's eventually coming back to exact revenge on the Elite guys. It's coming. Y'all not slick Cali guys. Y'all think y'all went and got another curly headed guy that does knee strikes? Nah, bro, cut it out.
Not the same.
It's not the same at all. Cut it out.
Jack can't do what Kenny does. But yeah, super interesting that he's even kind of in the mix. I'm like, damn, Kenny comes back, dude, it's fucking over.
Bro, you are eating a one-winged angel, bro.
You're dead. You're dead.
Here.
But no, I do like you said, the story of the match and Jack kind of getting into that vicious mode, especially leading into Blood and Guts. You have to show that, like, he deserves to be in here. He'll do whatever it takes to win a match, and getting Dustin to come bleed buckets always works.
Yeah, Jack cracks me up every time when he'll just stand still in the corner and does this like stand. He'll be like dead serious with that blank stare on his face. It cracks me up every time.
They tried to give him the belt when they tried to give him the TNT belt.
He hopped up on the turnbuckle and did it. I was in tears laughing at him, bro.
Like, no, Jack really think he him.
Jack is funny, man.
I fucks with Jack though. Like he's if he's gonna get a big Kenny Omega match, that's gonna hit.
Yeah.
Hard.
But yeah, main event of course was super high. Man.
Wow.
I mean, this is Ospreay at this point. Like, it feels like this is a weekly occurrence that this guy keeps showing us. Like, hey, man, you guys were wondering how I would do as a television wrestler. It turns out I'm pretty good at this. Main event match with Rey Fenix. They knocked it out of the park. All of the big spots that you would hope. All of the big, man, just lots of crazy spots in this that hit for me. But a great match.
This was where were they? Des Moines, Iowa, or something. Their first time there. You get nervous about going to first time places, but then you see how the crowd was reacting to this match, and I'm like, oh no, they were bloodthirsty for this. This was like a like back to back spot. This is the definition of fucking spot food. They're just like, Fenix is something, then Ospreay says something, then Fenix is right back at it, then Ospreay is back at it. They're countering each other. They're doing insane flips and rolls and every wild spot you could think of. Fenix just came back from whatever injury he is, but he's still Fenix. Like he was on
incredible
1,000 in this match. But Ospreay is like, this is my company. Like I'm the guy. It's fitting that Swerve is out there front row with the belt. Like, watch this. This is what the game is. I think that the story that they're telling with him and Swerve is amazing. This match was like everything. When they announced this match, like this match is probably going to be insane. It's that exactly what we thought it was.
Yeah, I thought this match was great. I think all of the story stuff that they put in here of Ospreay hot dogging it and doing stuff to mock Swerve, doing a Swerve stomp to finish the match, and then hitting the hidden blade to win. And as soon as he did it, Swerve was immediately offended and annoyed. I thought all of that stuff was great. I think there's a little bit of irony that this was in Des Moines, Iowa. Whose hometown is that? Seth Rollins. You out there in the crowd, Seth? You enjoying this?
Was he backstage? Was he back there?
Yeah, I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Put Ospreay in the main event though in Iowa though. Great idea.
But yeah, no, this match hit hard. I loved it. There are so many reversals and spots in here. You'd be going on for days.
Yeah, they did one of the big one of their famous clips of Fenix tries to hit him with the top rope Hurricane Rana, and then Ospreay lands on his feet, and it's just like, this is martial arts come to life. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? This is Ong Bak.
Yeah. I think it kind of got glossed over a little bit because Swerve opened the show talking to Ospreay, and I thought cut a very good promo on Ospreay when he was just like, yo, I like you, man. You're my friend. Mm-hmm. You're a killer, man. I've watched you have a match with this guy, killer. Went out there with Kenny Omega, killer. Saw you in this match, killer. Last pay-per-view, not so much. Don't give me an opening. If you give me an opening, I'm called Kill Shot for a reason. I was like, ooh, there's some bars, bro. Because we've seen it. He's been afraid to use his kill move on people now because of what it did to Bryan. I love that that's continued to be a story with Ospreay going forward. And I do think that is going to ultimately cost him this match at Forbidden Door. I think that's very good storytelling. And I really like the idea of Swerve himself being like, no, I got here by being ruthless. I got here by having a crazy match where I bled buckets with Hangman. I did all of this wild stuff to get this belt. You better not come in this match going at half speed with me because I will put you away. I love that.
That's why the first thing when he gets into the ring after he's pissed at the end, he's like, you still think this is a game, I think. And like, this ain't a game. I told you this is not a game. I will do anything in the world to keep this championship. You think that you're going to be able to hold 2 championships and have the world on your shoulders. You're not ready for that. And Ospreay being like, shut up, dude. I'm ready for that. This is fun. Let me have this belt. It looks good on me. I don't care about all that.
That spot, just him getting in there and yelling at him and man, it's too heavy for you. You can't carry both. And then he like smoothly just snatched the belt out of his hand, and then he does this, like looks up and he puts it on his shoulder, and at one point he looks like dead in the camera, like, yeah, that's me. This looks right. And like you could see just all of the annoyance on Swerve's face, like, bro, stop playing with me, dog. I'm gonna beat your fucking ass.
You're playing in my face on camera. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really great way to close the show. Continue to build strong to this match. It's not just one of those, hey, this is a dream match, but they're also doing some really good story stuff here, building off of Ospreay's entire time with the company so far, building off of Swerve as well. I loved it. I thought this was really, really good.
And I like this story that they continue to tell with Ospreay. They were kind of telling it with Roderick Strong of people are still low broing Ospreay. Like they're talking about the 10 years ago Ospreay, like, we knew you back then. I knew you when you were a skinny punk, blah, blah, blah. But dude, Ospreay's the big dog around here. He's the guy around here. And they still, like, Swerve is saying the same thing. Like, I remember you from back then. You're just a little homie, man. You're not ready for this shit. And like, I love that Ospreay is like, all right, I'm gonna keep letting you guys call me the little bro, but when it's match time, I'm coming to take heads off.
Yeah. In the meantime, we still have Garcia gunning for this match with Ospreay. I don't know when that will happen, but I really like that storyline as well. I like Brian going back to the black trunks and like trying to find that same energy that he brought to the company. This guy has turned into a great promo guy as well. All of the segments he does in those vignettes, they're so good.
When he came out, Garcia came out this week and they showed his record, and I was all, damn, there was a time when he couldn't get a win. Remember when he was in the tournament and they were like, why is Garcia in here? He can't win. He's this. I'm like, wow, he's really turned it around. And like you said, those when they get him immediately after a match and he's like been through it and he's suffering, and then he gives out that promo of like, I'm gonna still give it everything I got to become champion. Like, there's not a lot of people better than young Dan Garcia on the mic. I think every position that he's gotten in, he's excelled. And I love that he's added that little extra element at the end where he kind of gets with the crowd and gets that energy. Like, whatever he's doing recently is hitting hard. That Ospreay match is gonna bang.
I also very much like the story of and this could be my own headcanon, but just look at the coincidence of this. I think towards the end of Ospreay's run, not even towards the end, his entire run, you could argue with New Japan, he was chasing the legacy of Kazuchika Okada and trying to catch up with what he meant to this company.
Yep.
We're now kind of seeing him chase the legacy of Kenny Omega. Have you noticed that? He's trying to belt collect like Kenny. And when you look at like what he's doing and what that cost Kenny Omega to be the belt collector, all of the injuries he picked up along the way, all of the people gunning from, the things he realized he had to do to be the belt collector. He couldn't be a good guy. And the story they're telling of Ospreay here chasing this legacy of going, hey, I can do what Omega does. I was a Gaijin guy over there in New Japan after he left. I picked up the slack. I'm going to come in this company and do the same thing. And he's quickly finding out it ain't as easy as you think it is, because now you got the world gunning for you, buddy.
Because that's the same exact story they told with Kenny coming into AEW. Is he had all this fanfare off of being in Japan. He had some of the biggest matches of all time. And then he came in like, this is going to be easy. I've been killing it in Japan. I'm going to beat all these guys' ass. But then you get to AEW and then there's a target on your back because all these guys are like, oh, you're the best wrestler in the world. I'll fucking show you. I'm better than you. I'm about to show you right now. Because that's essentially the story that Swerve's telling. Swerve's like, everybody says you're the best wrestler where everybody says you're this, but I'm the world champion. How does that make you better than me?
Yeah. I mean, and when you even look at like him coming straight in, and man, the big match when Brian first got there, he came in immediately, was like Kenny Omega.
Yep.
Ospreay came in and was like, okay, I beat him next.
Damn, now your headcanon's sick though. I think they are playing that because that's exactly what it was. He went into New Japan and he was like, who's the greatest? Okada, I'll be better than him. Came into AEW. And they even told another story with him being like, Brian, you think you're the guy, but I'm really coming to beat the legacy of Kenny Omega. So I'm going to beat your ass on entrance, and then I'm going to beat Kenny Omega's legacy. It's like,
yeah. Who was the first guy that he beat on pay-per-view? I don't know, the guy that just beat Kenny Omega twice. I love the story of that, and I think that there's something to that, and I think that eventually he's gonna have to get in this bag, and he's gonna have to do ugly things to get where Kenny Omega did.
Like
gonna
Tiger
have to
Driver
learn
on their neck.
He's gonna have to learn this lesson the hard way, like Kenny Omega did, and it's tough wrestling every week, and everybody's gunning for you. When you say you're the top guy, you're painting a target on your back. Wow. It ain't gonna be easy to just be world champion. You're not gonna just come in this company and be world champion in your first year.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Because that was, again, same story. I still stand on, like, when Kenny came in, they should have made him AEW world champion. And, like, I don't feel that way about Ospreay, but that was a thing. Like, people were like, oh, he should immediately be AEW world champion. I mean, there's still a chance he could be in a couple of weeks. So, wow, Phil. Yeah.
I think it's a great story they're telling so far.
The Kenny Omega thing, yeah. And there's still another built-in match with him and Kenny Omega.
And I would just like to point out as well, why he's chasing this legacy. There's somebody else that is effortlessly doing what he's trying to do. If you've not noticed this, other people are gunning for her, and she's taking the challenges, and she's beat all three of them. And I do believe she is going to beat Stephanie at Forbidden Door. She is going to have 2 belts.
Yeah, agreed.
Which, by the way, her match this week was also fantastic. Mercedes.
Super heat. That was so fun.
Man, I saw people that were upset that they were putting a TBS title on her, but I was like, this is the perfect belt to put on her. She's the workhorse. She's going to come on and have like the great TV matches. You're going to use her on TBS. It's the TBS championship. I think for the first time since the existence of this belt, it feels like this is the face of TBS. She's having the big matches on the main show on TBS.
Yeah.
This is what we should be doing.
She has her little, whatever the money you can get bucks or
the
whatever.
QR code.
Yeah, the QR code. Like she feels like this is my show. This is my brand. This is going on. You know, she's been waiting, Phil, when she was out at the end of her WWE run. Every time we would see her training a video, what style of wrestling was it? Lucha. It was like every time you saw her, she was training some lucha shit. So when she got in to be with the luchadora in a match, you knew she was going to cook. And she was hitting all those little arm drags and things that we've been seeing her training with. She was really in her bag. And just like you're saying, like people coming in were like, oh, the TBS championship, why isn't she going for the world title? That's such a downgrade. That's such a, this is like, no, she's going to establish the wrestler that she is, because we all know that's the character that she is, because she hasn't been able to be in the ring for a year. She's going to come back and cook in positions like this, so we remember exactly the wrestler that she is.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good spot to put Suzuki in. I thought she looked fantastic as well in this match.
She cooked too.
That fireman carry into the Liger bomb, that was crazy. She hit her with this like modified like lawnmower move. It was like it like looked like she hit her clean in her neck. I was like,
yeah,
all right. Ragdolling this woman around. Again, every time I don't watch Mercedes wrestle for a while, I'm like, yo, she be giving up when she sell broke.
Dude, she's one of the best sellers, man. Sell bumpers and sellers. The way that you always think she has that kind of Bryan Danielson ability of like, is she hurt though? Like, I like it, but like, what's going on here?
Yeah. But yeah, no. It turns out like all of these people like, nah, the CEO thing ain't gonna hit. Like all the promo stuff, this isn't hitting. No, I knew the second she got to it and we got to the matches, we were gonna quiet all that down.
And that's funny, Phil, because every pod that we've had, I've been like, Mercedes needs to be healed. Mercedes needs to be healed. Mercedes needs to be healed. And I don't know if she does at this point.
Nah, she's too over.
Yeah, she's pretty over.
I think the great thing that they're doing with not just having her as the TBS champion and she feels like the face, it doesn't feel like any of this is halting any of Tony's momentum as well. Yes. Tony is still having the promo segments on Dynamite and still having the matches on Collision, and she still feels like a big deal. It doesn't feel like any of this has hindered her at all. Man, the women's division is cooking, bro. I
wanted to bring up Marcus's super chat because he says AEW has 4 women's storylines going at the same time. #progress.
And yeah, it's all interesting stuff. I really like what they're doing with Thunder Rosa and Deanna as well. Of course, I think the Willow and Statlander stuff is great as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're still building to that big feud for Mercedes. I think
Yeah.
just because we're just getting out of the Willow match, and it feels like that was such a big feud that took up like her first 2 months or so with the company, and now we're just getting to the matches.
Mm-hmm.
But man, all of this is hitting, man. I know
And then
somebody.
Forbidden Door being kind of that kind of mixes it up because she's going to interact with somebody not necessarily on the regular roster. So
Yeah.
that like it's that, but she's going to get we're going to get like the Britt Bakers and the Thunder Roses and all those big matches coming up very soon.
Yeah, I thought this was really smart as well, giving her the match with Suzuki, because Suzuki is Stephanie's tag team partner from CMLL.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought their explanation for that was perfect. All of you vignette merchants that keep going, where are the vignettes? They've been giving you all the video packages. You got a great video package this week for Mina as well. You don't have any real excuse to be like, I don't know who this person is. But yeah, so far out of 3 matches, man, all these matches have hit, man.
Yes, honestly, I love that. Mercedes has been working a style kind of, I want to say totally different than her like WWE stuff, but like you could tell that there's a difference in her working style.
She brings up it feels like she pulls out something new out of her bag every week as well.
Mm-hmm.
All those people that were like, man, I don't know about this finisher, man. I don't know, man. My Naymaker might not be it. It's looked clean in the last 2 matches, bro.
Like if there's somebody that can take that, then yeah, it's different.
And that's why I keep saying it's the opponent. It's how well the opponent can sell it. And I think Sky Blue did a really good job with it. And this week, I thought Suzuki took it really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that match hit. I'm excited about more stuff like this. It's gonna be great when she does interact with the AEW roster, but her interacting with random luchadors and interacting with random people from overseas, I think is where the real money is, because she's been in that WWE system for so long where it's just 99% of the time she's working against people she's always going to work against. Now we're seeing her against so many different opponents and in different situations. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, and I think it's good that I know we've got Tony as a big babyface champion, but I think it helps with your big workhorse champion, because I say all the time, when you have somebody that is a workhorse champion that wrestles weekly, it kind of works better if it's a babyface, because the opponent, the crowd is going to be into the matches. They're eventually going to get behind the wrestler, and you've got enough heels, you got enough people coming in for her to work. I think eventually when we get that Statlander match, that's going to hit big. That's got to be on the docket somewhere.
That match is going to be crazy.
Yeah. And you got enough people, I think, eventually you got coming in. We still have the rumors that Camille is coming in. We still don't know when Megan Bain is coming in. You got a bunch of stuff that you can do.
Bro, I watched Megan Bain. Megan Bain she's been on the GCW shows. She had a match with Speedball Mike Bailey, and I was like, dude, this is $1 million talent. Like, how is she not? She's like, great. Put her on TV right now, but like, just her presence is like a gazillion. And then she starts working, and you're like, oh shit, like what?
She's great.
Y'all got money right here.
We were there for that match in Philadelphia at that Stardom show.
Dude, I'm telling you, big presence. Like when you just see a person and you're like, oh, that's the type of energy that she has. And I'm like, yo, she could be world champion in any company in the world right now, and it'll make so much sense. So, yo, her and Mercedes,
give it to me.
Come on.
Man, the eventual, I don't know, man, you got a bunch of matchups for Megan Bain that I would be very excited for. I mean, I think her versus Stat can hit. Her and Willow had the feud and beyond that was really good, and I think they could bring that energy here, because I think both of them are better at this point.
Way better, yeah. What they could do now as compared to back then is different. Like Megan feels comfortable and in her role, and Willow is just on another level.
Yeah.
Megan and Tony, Megan and Mariah, yo, no, come on.
Yeah, really excited to see what's going on with the women's division. It really feels like it's on the right track for the first time, probably ever. Like
honestly, when's the last time there's ever been 4 strong storylines going on?
Yeah, you've got 2 really good builds heading into Forbidden Door. It's a really good time for the women's division at the moment.
And the Deonna and Mercedes. I'm thinking of all the drink. I'm like, all these ladies we talked about in different scenarios is like, yo, no, it's on the way. And Sheeta and Rio, all these people that are also could be a part of this. It's like, okay, I see what's going on. This is great. And like we were talking about on Ask Grapsody, the women's matches on Forbidden Door may be the best build that's happening of the whole thing. So shout out to that.
Yeah, definitely. See, let's hop into remainder of our Humper chats.
Super chats too. Let me get into them while you pull those up. Our friend Auntie Collins says TMDK jacket girlies for life.
Nah, man, they be coming out there with that UK rock music, man. They be hitting it.
I like those guys a lot. I'm happy that they're double champions.
Yeah, I like TMDK as a faction a lot.
Will Chisholm says we're going to be eating this summer. Mercedes Moné World Tour dream match with Io versus Utami and Liv Morgan being a blonde homewrecker.
I completely forgot we got that announcement for the Mario
right.
show coming up. That will be Io Sky taking on Utami. Utami is a known big Io Shirai fan.
Dude, that video is so special that they showed of her not knowing that it's going to happen and then fucking Io popping up. Man.
They're both former members of Queen's Quest, former leaders of Queen's Quest. I think that's really dope. But we also have, I think on that same card, that's where Julia and Saraya is going to take place. So that's already looking like a really strong show. I haven't tapped into a lot of Mari Gold stuff so far, but that looks like it's going to be dope.
The Rossi stuff that you saw, that news that came out that Triple H. Oh, yeah. Triple H is the one that told me to leave. Oh, yeah. We couldn't have guessed that. No one has heard that, big brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I speaking of the women, I also have seen a lot of women when that Blood and Guts announcement came up. A lot of women were like responding to it, like, "Oh yeah, we're doing Blood and Guts."
What's up with it? Yep.
I've seen a lot of women like, "All right, it does feel like it's only a matter of time before you're gonna have to give the women a Blood and Guts match."
Could they get to it?
I think eventually you can. You've got enough women on that roster. I think you've got enough women that have shown that they love. Like, listen, Sky Blue is dying to get in this Blood and Guts match.
I know they could definitely get to it eventually, but could they get to it in the next month, do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they have a good enough build right now.
Because, like, there's no factions, but, like, Deonna and Thunder, they could be in there because they have a blood feud going on. Like you said, Sky Blue wants to rock it. Then Stat and Chris could be in there because they have a blood feud. Like, it wouldn't be like these are straight teams together, but like you could put it together maybe.
I mean, if you wanted to try and make it work in the next few months, you could try, but you know, it'd be kind of hodgepodge.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, those women deserve it. There's a lot of them that are ready to go in there and get bloody. Our friend Deontay Soignier says, "Afternoon, boys. Wanted to get y'all thoughts on Io going to Marigo. We just talked about that, and what you guys want for Forbidden Door. Wishing y'all the best always. TK and Tam Tam on the card, please. I'll buy the pay-per-view twice. All love, boys."
Yeah, I think that's dope, man. That Io's doing the Marigo. I just saw today. Somebody asked Bailey about it at the media scrum, and she was saying that she would be interested in wrestling Marigo as well. And I'm just like, man,
wow. There's some wild stuff has been coming on because the Noah announced that they're gonna have a big WWE announcement to. I think their show's on the 15th. Maybe it might have already happened, but
wow.
They said they're gonna have a big WWE announcement collaboration or something going on this weekend. I'm like, there is so much going on, Phil. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, we set all of those matchups for Mercedes. She still has Stardom and New Japan matches. Like, I still want to see her wrestle Tam someday. I still think she's got that Mina match that Mina has been telling us for the longest she wants.
Every time Mina talks, she's like, "Hey, that match though, don't forget."
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the women's wrestling, man. It's insane. Vasco says Ospreay versus Garcia versus MJF for All In. Thoughts, a 3-way.
Wouldn't be mad at it. I hope Garcia gets a big match at All In. He deserves it, man.
Oh, because Garcia put up the tweet that's MJF and Ospreay watching him, so maybe he's trying to tease it.
Yeah, maybe so. But man, get Dan Garcia in a big match at the show, please.
Straight up, he's earning it starting with the Continental Classic, and then everything post that is like, no, he wants to be here and he wants to be the top guy. Delayed Grat says all this positive AEW commentary deserves support. LOL. MJF versus RUSH will be better than expected.
Yeah, nah, I think that's gonna hit. RUSH don't know how to go half speed.
He doesn't. I don't think he ever learned how not to. Like, it's like if you're in a match with RUSH, you might be in a real fight. I always harp back to when Nakamura was on Talk is Jericho, and he talks about his famous match with Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom, and he's I didn't know if we were in a real fight. He's Ibushi was like really beating my ass, and like I didn't know. I don't know if he knew wrestling was real or not, but like, and I think that's what RUSH is like. RUSH is like something click when the bell rings, something clicks in his hair. He's like, "This is real. I'm gonna kill this guy," and it's like, dude, we're all in. But that's what makes him great.
Yeah.
Vasco, we got into a little bit, says, who is your 5 versus 5 women's Blood and Guts team?
Yeah, if I had to come up with one now, I think there's a way that you can get all of the big heels right now. Statlander, Diana, Sky Blue.
Yep.
Anna Jay.
Yep. Deeb.
Is Deeb a heel?
She don't think she is.
Yeah. I don't know if Deeb's technically a heel.
Deeb will have to be on the babyface side.
Is Ty close to being ready? Well, this is hypotheticals anyway.
Yeah, this is all hypotheticals.
If it's hypotheticals, I would say Ty and Anna Jay.
Well, what about like Britt, if we're talking hypotheticals?
Britt as well. Britt does make sense as well. On the babyface team, Willow, of course, Thunder Rosa.
Who combats Julia? I mean, not Julia. Sky.
Man, it's been Willow for so long. She's been back and forth with Julia and Sky Blue for so long. Babyface team. Put Sheeta on there. Sheeta.
Yep. That's 3. That's a pretty good team. Mercedes, Willow, Sheeta,
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder. And
you can find somebody else to throw in there. Somebody.
Ruby's out. Anna's on. Anna's a heel?
Technically, I guess.
Somebody new that we mentioned, like Megan or Camille or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody.
Deep. That's the one. There you go.
Struggle. We got 5.
5 on 5. And then Will Chisholm says, so what's this Pro Wrestling Noah and WWE joint announcement could be? Whatever it is going to be nasty. I think he's trying to say.
You got confused. Nasty, like the Tinashe record that's everywhere.
Nasty girl. That song be stuck in my head, and I'll be like, why is that song stuck in my head, man?
Everywhere.
Shout out to Tinashe. She looks good.
Yeah, she's on Jimmy Kimmel performing it the other night, and I was like, okay.
Sliding down the car hood, and I was like, you know what? Big fan. I would think just like kind of like the All Japan crossover thing that they did, they'll probably just send somebody over there to work.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I don't think it's gonna be like I would jump through the roof if it's like a joint show or something crazy.
But yeah, that would be nuts. But I just figure they're gonna send Charlie.
I think it's gonna be like more talent sharing, probably.
which is interesting because shout out to the homies in West Coast Pro. There's like the homies Starboy Charlie and Titus Alexander are over there in Noah right now. So like, how does that, like, if they, you guys are going to have a WWE thing, like, how does that work? Like, it's all this stuff is so interesting.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's all of our super chats. Thank you, everybody. Like, can Charlie get a job? Like, get Charlie a job. I don't know. That means he'll be on the radar at least, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some from Tony P. Says, we know Paige is the elite fifth, but who's joining the team? Swerve. I think it'll be Ospreay, Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Even if it looks like the Acclaimed is joining. Also, why do I feel Cope was going to be on Swerve's team if he wasn't hurt? He had beef with the elite too.
I think Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think
he was gonna be the one, but he broke his leg.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Eddie. But then when Eddie went out, it ended up going to Darby.
Yes.
So I think it was just gonna be the same team from Anarchy at the arena, just with Swerve at it.
Exactly.
That's what it sounded like it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's probably gonna be Swerve, the Acclaim, Brian, and Darby, if I had to guess.
Right. Which is like, it's only the Acclaim that's really kind of doing something.
One of these things is not like the other.
I feel like they're gonna excel in that position.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Tony also says, with FDR out, the tag division is weak. News of MXMM. Who's that? Eminem?
Maybe think Maximum Male Models.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah. Maximum Male Models
Mm-hmm.
and Grizzled Young Vets possibly coming makes sense. Should restart the division again. Speaking of people coming in, when Ricochet comes, will it be during Forbidden Door, after, at All In? Also, who you see TK giving them for the 5-star Grand Prix or the G1? I mean, I don't think the division is weak. I just don't think we see enough tag team wrestling because there's still a bunch of tag teams. We just don't see them on TV. You still got Top Flight. You still got Private Party. You still got a bunch of tag teams. They're just not wrestling. They're not. They're
Bros.
Yeah, you got tag teams. You just want to see them.
Yeah, there's still the looming Sabin and Shelly Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah,
I think if you bring in Grizzled Young Vets, like they're saying,
yeah,
they got enough super strong tag teams already that if they just put an emphasis on tag team wrestling, it's right back into it. That's just the thing. Like, I thought that's what Young Bucks being the champions were gonna be, but they're just not. They're mixed up in something else.
Yeah, I don't know when we see Motor City Machine Guns, but they can eventually come in and add some new energy to the division.
Like, you add them and Grizzled Young Vets, like we're cooking. That's a whole different thing, you know.
Yeah, and you still got other tag teams that are doing nothing. Like, I don't know.
Bucks. Thought y'all was gonna change.
Lie to us, man.
Lies.
Lied to us, man. You lied about your footage, man. You lied about your suits, man. You lied about your shoes. All fraudulent.
Yep.
It says some final thoughts, and it's about the Elite story. It seems like people want the Elite to be buck wild. I see what you did there. Control everything like Vince Kennedy McMahon's Attitude Era mode. I think they're not doing that on purpose. I think they only will mess with certain people at first. Those people see what's happening and try to nip it in the bud, but fail. It isn't a major issue yet. I think the real story is the Elite is slowly getting to the point where they're too powerful and anything they do affects everyone in AEW. They must be stopped. Yeah, I think there's nuance to the story. I just feel like it's gotten a little bit convoluted because they're in the middle of too much stuff, and I would rather just see them in a tag division doing tag matches.
That's it. Yeah, it's nothing against the Bucks. It's just like they're the Bucks. They're the greatest my favorite tag team of all time. I just want to see them working. That's it. And if any way to bring this division back to where it needs to be, have the Young Bucks defend the fucking belts. It's not really that hard.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was real into this storyline when Okada first joined. I think that added a lot to it, and then you added Jack. It just feels like because you're continuing to build to the next big thing, the next big pay-per-view, it hasn't really had enough room to breathe, and I think that's part of the big issue with it.
Totally. And we've talked a lot about the greatness of the homie Will Ospreay recently, but we need to also give it up to the homie Okada, who has become like one of the best TV wrestlers in the world with just like one-liners.
Bitch.
I'm telling you, it works every time. Like, and when he tricks the crowd into thinking something and he does something, flips them off or something, I'm like, Okada was made for this shit, I think.
But see this again, there are certain things that the Bucks do, and when they play up certain things, I think it goes under people's noses because it is very funny. I think Jericho very much thinks he's doing what they're doing and doing the clever, like subtle on the nose things, because how many Japanese wrestlers did we see go over to WWE and they just had to, just curse. That'll make you seem threatening. They did it with Io. They did it with so many wrestlers over there. It's like, we'll just say bitch. And so every time he does it, I pop because I'm like, that is a thing that they have. Like the Japanese wrestlers come on and act like they can only just say a handful of words. And Okada's English is actually very good, but he keeps playing into this bit, and it's really funny.
Nakamura did do that bit pretty good for a while when he was doing the no speak English. That shit was funny though.
Nah, Nakamura, he's done a few things that shouldn't have worked, but it was really funny at the time.
Just because he's really good in like his facials and everything, it's like he makes it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nak, man.
What the hell are they doing with Nakamura, man?
Every time we talk about it, they're like, "Oh no, that's what he wants." Every time a fan's like, "Oh, I'm like, "No, come on, dude."
Seems like they put him out there on TV. It's like, "Hey, look, Okada, look what we're doing with him." Then it didn't work there. Like, "Oh, just send him back in the room."
Yeah, okay. It didn't work. Sorry, Nak. You can go home.
Yeah,
but Okada needs to defend his belt too. I'm glad they're doing that thing this week.
But he's been having good matches with those belts. It's just, again, it just feels like everything is like build at this point because we're doing monthly pay-per-views. So we just haven't had a chance to slow down yet.
That is the difference. I haven't really factored that in. This monthly pay-per-view things changes a lot. Like you got to get, like you said, they're building to 3 different things essentially at the same time, when it used to just be like, oh, we're building to one thing that's in 2 months. No, now it's like every 3 weeks or something.
Yeah. From New Lac City, he says AEW definitely needs to step up their tag division, push Private Party, Motor City Machine Guns, Grizzled Young Veterans getting a run on Collision would be a nice addition. And do y'all agree they should do a split roster again, like the Punk days? I think it would help in some ways of just having like definitive guys that are specific to Collision, because it would just give them more TV time.
Yeah, we got into it a little bit on Ask Grapsody about Collision and kind of what it represents. And like, I think they're trying to form kind of an identity with it, with like banging ass matches and luchas and things, but it's not like established because you still see some of the same people on Dynamite, and I think that might be what takes away from some people. So I wouldn't be mad if they did like a hard ass, like these guys are over here, these people are over here, and these people are on this side, you know? I know how difficult that could be though.
Yeah. Didn't somebody asked us who would they send for the G1 and the 5-star Grand Prix, and I completely forgot about that question.
That was the last question. Yeah.
For the 5-star, could they send from the women? I know Anna has talked about going over there in Wrestling Stardom. Maybe Anna.
I was like thinking Deonna, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but Like I've seen like them express interest in having Anna on there. I know that there's like at some point someone asked Mina would she be interested in having Anna as a member of her faction as well, and she does fit that faction.
I'm like the prototype of the Gaijin wrestler that goes over there. Anna Jay looks like it, so
Yeah, she kind of fits like that aesthetic of what Club Venus was at one point. So I could see it.
Yeah, I could see Anna going over there. That could work. As far as the men's, I'd like to see Claudio maybe for the G1.
I mean, the guy that I want them to send over there is in the middle of this learning tree shit. Send Brian Keith.
Thought you're gonna say Jericho. I was like, this Phil is sick. What's going on here?
Get Brian Keith over there.
Get my guy BK.
Yeah.
When people are like Brian Danielson, I'm like, I don't want that. Do you know what the G1 is? He'll die.
Listen, I keep telling y'all. Tony was like, "Oh, he want to go over there. Can we get how can we build this tournament up?
What's
Continental Classic? Yeah.
Wembley Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah,
we don't want that. I'm good. Yeah. It's too grueling.
I would love to see somebody like Brian Keith or somebody younger like Garcia over there. I think that'd be dope too.
Yeah, totally. Garcia would hit. Maybe somebody that was in the Continental Classic that can get an opportunity on that side.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, if your leg wasn't all broken. Yeah. Unfortunate timing, man. That's why that Matt line, like you were saying, Matt Jackson just sucks. It's like even if it's just a bit, you don't want to like even make light.
It was kind of a lame. Stuff. It was kind of a lame line as well. I think it was funny, but I didn't even ask this because we have been in the middle of all this QR code thing. Is there a chance we see Uncle Howdy at this pay-per-view? Because they've done this countdown thing, and the countdown is leading to Monday.
I'm like, I don't know who are they feuding with anybody? Or like, is this feud attached? Because they just keep showing this at random times, right?
It's just building up to them showing up. And they've done some they've done some stuff on Twitch. They've done a lot of stuff. So, and it seems like the countdown is leading till Monday. And so I have to assume, even if they don't show up at this pay-per-view, Howdy or some iteration of the Wyatt Six is going to show up on Monday. And I'm like, okay, well, they show up at the pay-per-view first?
Maybe just one of them, like Uncle Howdy just showed. Uncle Howdy, I cannot believe this. Maybe Uncle Howdy just shows up. But if I feel like if they're going towards Raw, they might just save it till then. Because that recently with their PLEs, they haven't had any like extra story stuff like that. Like it seems like the last couple PLEs I watch, it's like just the match is just to the point of the stories that they're telling here, you know?
Yeah. So maybe it'll just be the Monday stuff. But this is supposed to be the day, June 17th. I really hope, and I don't want to go into a tangent, but I hope that, because Bo at one point was very entertaining on NXT. He was really funny. And I think that they can get into that energy. I think there is a way to do the Bray stuff and make it work. But I have no interest in him showing up on TV with like this top hat and this big kooky mask or like some crazy makeup. I think he should, if he's going to do the Howdy thing, I think he should show up and immediately take the mask off and talk as Bo Dallas. I think that's the way to go. And then just recruit the other members as Bo.
The only issue is like that whole thing worked because of Bray. And so like how do you get that? How do you get that magic without the magic?
Because nobody can talk like that guy. Nobody can really get you to believe in this stuff the way that Bray did. But I think if it's gonna work, I don't want to see him come out and like overham it up, come out there with the mask and the campy looking makeup. I think
having someone else talk for him over the loudspeaker and shit. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I think with what everything happened, people want to hear from Bo. I think people have wanted to hear from Bo since Bray passed away. And I think if he just comes on and speaks from the heart and speaks in a truthful way, in a way that Bray used to do, in the way that would get us pulled in. Like, just think of his first promo when he first came back after Extreme Rules, and just how real that promo felt. And I feel like Bo's got to do something similar. Like he needs that kind of vibe. And I think all of the stuff, like the Twitch thing that I saw where he was writing the letters to people and you could tell who he was talking to. Like he wrote the one letter to Nikki, for example. Or at least I'm assuming it was to Nikki. Like, I've seen you, I've watched you, I've seen how you are looking for friends and how it seems like you're always looking off into the distance. I see you. Come home, be a part of this family. Like, make it feel like that. Don't make it over the top cartoony, and it'll work.
I don't know if they can though. You know that they're like, we got to get spooky, man. Turn the lights off. Shoot the fireworks.
Turn the lights off. Which reminds me, when I saw that Leo stuff this week, and I saw Leo's doing this stuff with Dante on the Indies, it very much felt like Tony was like, "Hey, man, go ahead, get over there, have a blast, get all of this stuff out of your system, then come back and we'll talk." But like,
keep that spooky shit over there, bro.
Like you ain't got to bring the makeup over there. We cool. No. Leave that motor oil at home. We don't want that.
Do not come throwing up in our ring, bro. We do not have time to clean that up. Yeah, no. You know, there's definitely a time and a place for these things, and I mean, I just for the sake of who I've heard is rumored to be involved with this Wyatt 6 thing, I hope for the sake of those people that it works. Just because all those people need a win.
Yeah, I really want to see Nikki get a win.
Right.
I really like Nikki Cross, and it just seems like they haven't been able to get it right with her on the main roster yet.
They haven't.
And they've tried so many different things. They did the superhero bit. They tried to bring her back as Sanity Nikki without the sanity
without
guys.
sanity.
And yeah, so I really want her to get a win. This seems like a good place as well for Joe Gacy, because he was doing the Bray Wyatt light stuff.
He was.
If you're gonna put Dexter Lumis anywhere, he kind of belongs in a collective as kind of a henchman.
A wild card type dude. Yeah,
I think that fits in. I mean, just the idea of doing like a Wyatt family thing with Rowan attached to it, like, come on. Not for nothing. Also, I don't know if you've been watching what they're doing with Karrion Kross. Not hating it, dog. It's actually good.
Oh, really?
Because what he's doing right now is he's trying to convince Xavier Woods that, hey, what are you doing? Why are you still in Kofi's shadow? He's won a championship. Why are you still hanging next to this guy? You're never going to win a championship still doing this New Day stuff and being around this guy. Come join me. And he's just like, no. And he's just like, why are you acting like I'm saying something wrong? Like, what are you doing here? You guys still a tag team? You're still doing the same thing you were doing 5 years ago? And he cut this promo at one point. He was like, at some point, those guys are going to get old, and E and Kofi are going to be sitting around talking about the good old days, and they're going to be talking about being WWE champion. And what are you going to have to show for it? Being King of the Ring? And I was like, God damn.
Yeah. I mean, those are some real words, some real bars. And I mean, shit. Okay, damn.
No, it's actually very good. Surprisingly, I'm like, this is again what I would prefer to see them do. Like, have him do the cerebral stuff. Don't lean so heavily into the spooky and like all of the like vignettes and stuff. Like, just have him talk. Like, even if this is disingenuous, like there's enough truth to it that makes it interesting.
Yeah, Cross has such a like menacing tone, and the way that he looks, that all you have to like, he doesn't need the spooky aesthetics. Just let him talk. That shit's spooky enough. And the realness that he kind of adds on the back end of it makes for everything. And then let him do that same kind of act in the ring. I don't know where the disconnect keeps happening with this guy. And
this is a very big, terrifying guy. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, when you see him, he's a big fucking dude. Killer Cross.
Yeah. I saw someone say this lead to the breakup. I don't know if I believe that this is gonna lead to Xavier Woods joining those guys. I think this is just him starting this new character of like this truth sayer that is deceiving people. But I pitched this and I was like, just looking at what he's doing as this guy that's trying to lead people astray and get them to join him by lying to them. That's the exact opposite of everything that Bray Wyatt stood for. And so I could see this faction going up against the Final Testament guys because like they would like be offended by that, of course. And then also like you're looking at like what Bray Wyatt's legacy is and Rowan and like who was one of their greatest rivals? The New Day. And it's like, how dare you like try and break them up?
Man, you be thinking into the future, huh? You're booking in advance.
I mean, if that's a story you want to tell, I don't have the faith that that's something that they can do, but that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, because I feel like soon as the YS6 come on, they're gonna they're gonna keep Bo on the mask and shit. Like it's just gonna be spooky and silly as hell. It's gonna be like, you guys, it's gonna be a lot easier.
Get him out of the mask. And I have some hope because he did that vignette and they showed like the bottom half of his mouth and it was very clearly Bo with like the mustache and everything. And I was like, just take him out of the mask, man. It's cool.
The thing that could potentially work out for them is that, like you said, Bo's such a good character. I'm thinking back when he was doing the fucking Bo Leave stuff.
Yes.
And like if he kind of does a turn or an extra version of that character, but as the leader of this, I think it could work out.
Yeah. I would just say lean into the cult leader stuff that made Bray great.
Yeah.
Just do kind of your version of it, and I think this can work. I don't need the spooky. I don't need as much of the spooky stuff. Like, I mean,
there's definitely going to be some, but
you can have that. You can have that kind of presentation to it, but you don't have to lean as heavily into it.
Alexa's going to be a part of this, yeah?
I have to assume so.
Like, that would be weird if she isn't.
Where is Alexa doing? Like,
huh? She had a kid, right? Very recently, but it's been some time.
She's been out for a while. She's been out about a year.
That's crazy.
Over a year at this point. I think.
Yeah, it's been a minute, huh? They kind of just got Liv to replace her. They're like, we got this same thing. It's fine.
Don't come back with that awful theme song.
No, she's gonna come back with something worse. It's fucking those guys.
No, I'm talking about the other theme that she had before she went away. Like that theme song, I was just going humming. That was all right, but that other one, the get up, stand up, and fight me. I hated that shit. Like, don't come back with that theme song.
So bad, not good, terrible. What they done to me. I'm sure they'll have a Wyatt 6 song, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna blues it up on us. Let somebody else produce it. Don't let Def Rebel.
Please.
Butcher this thing.
David Reed said,
"Start Wyatt 6."
Wyatt 6. So sick. David Reed said, if Mox is in the G1, I'm 100% confident he's in Blood and Guts.
Maybe.
Mox could be one to go on Blood and Guts. He always represents that. And then Lab Glass says, Uncle Howdy / Bo comes out and sings with Drew at the end of the show tomorrow. Whew, what a way to kill a gimmick in 5 seconds.
Bro, you know how funny that would be if Drew loses again and Bo just comes out, takes off the mask and stands next to him and he's like, what a tangled web we live. This is why I don't leave the house. They say the coast is clear, but you won't let me out.
Please, I need Drew to lose. I need Uncle Howdy to do this.
That would be hilarious. They would completely ruin the two of those guys, but it would be
over.
really funny.
Well, for us, it'd be great.
Who
needs legacy?
Why?
That's all of our super chats. Thank you, guys.
We got some more humper chats. Got a handful more from New Lac City. Here, let me hit the refresh to make sure I'm getting this right. From New Lac City says, what y'all think about the talk about WWE paying for the Fast Nationals to feed AEW Fast Nationals to media? You feel like TK is too nice of a guy to play dirty like WWE behind scenes? Not saying I would do the same shit WWE is doing though. LOL. I mean, we've known about this Fast National thing for a while. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. We've known this for a minute, and there are definitely certain people that WWE sends those things to, and
you could tell.
I wouldn't I wouldn't have any interest in sharing fast nationals. I keep telling you guys, I do not care about ratings. If you ever see me sharing some ratings numbers, like that's probably a quick way to know that either I've been hacked or jig's up, man. The jig is up. Like,
yeah, Phil doesn't care, hasn't cared, and will never care about ratings. So
yeah, but yeah, no, this fast national thing is not new. We've definitely known it for some time. I think it's nasty business, but it's also wrestling and it's business. Like, yeah, of course, that's what they're doing over there.
Yeah, we've been watching the Who Killed WCW, and those practices still exist here today.
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah. A lot of nasty business over there, but it's wrestling, man.
It's wrestling.
We also got from New Lac City. He says Acclaim should lose the tag match and break up Blood and Guts Elite with Hangman versus Swerve, Death Triangle, and Ospreay, leading to Lucha Bros versus the Bucks and Perry versus Pac and Swerve Hangman.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I don't think so. I like it, but I don't think so.
I don't think they're gonna break the Acclaimed up in that way. I think they're gonna be a part of the Blood and Guts match. I think that the fact that so many people don't seem to want it is not a good sign, but I definitely think it's still happening.
There's just no other alternative really that would make sense.
Now you could have, if Motor City Machine Guns are really coming, you could have had them in the match.
So it's supposed to be Team AEW, I guess.
Oh yeah, that part.
No,
come on, man, it's Motor.
They need to bring Motor City Machine Guns in though. What the fuck's going on? That's the Wembley match for Young Bucks.
Yeah, I wonder how long Mark Davis is going to be out. I was asking that on Ask Grapsody too. Mm-hmm. When is he going to be clear? Because I feel like Aussie Open could fill that void of having the big tag matches too.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Damn.
Fuck these injuries.
Yeah, that is our last Humper chat. We can't hit everything. Before we get out of here, you want to get into a little bit of NXT Battleground talk. I know that you reviewed this with Denise on Sunday while I was watching basketball.
I did. But I know you want to talk about Sexy Red so bad, Phil, that we gotta get into it. Of course, Sexy Red started the show by twerking on and cursing, so I was like, "Oh, this is the time of energy we're bringing." No, honestly though, I think there are some bright shining spots in NXT. I can't get into all of it. I can't watch it on a weekly basis. It's just not the show for me. But like watching Obafemi throw Wesley into the fucking air, Phil, is like, wow.
Bruh. Obafemi is a star, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
They got something with him, man. They should be building that guy up to be the next big thing for that brand. I don't know if he's close to being NXT champion now, but eventually that guy's going to be ready. He's fantastic.
I haven't seen energy like this around a wrestler in a while. Just of like the way that he works and his raw power and the spots that he do are pretty innovative and different. And the crowd really is behind him. Like everybody in the chat on Sunday is like, Obafemi should be champ. He should be champ. Why don't they make him a champ? Bring him up to the main roster. Like everybody's like 100% in on him.
He's so fun to watch, man. Like I think the good thing about him is he just wrestles so different, especially in that crowd of a bunch of the other guys from the PC.
Yeah,
he looks different. He looks big and menacing, and then he moves different. He's like throwing people around and ragdolling them. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, what a guy.
I thought that triple threat was a lot of fun. I knew Wesley was going to come back and get back to the shits, but this was a lot of fun.
Even more back to the shits. I'm like, didn't you have a broken back or something? And he did not seem to care. Yeah, there was a couple of things in there. The Oba catching him out of midair and power bombing him that I'm just like, this is raw power and raw energy, and this guy is going to be something big. It's legit. You said next big thing, and it really gives me that guy's vibes of like, how Brock Lesnar came in and how he would move and his explosiveness. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason we're still keeping this coffee thing going after this match. Coffee and Gallus jumped Wesley after the match, and I was just like, okay.
Well, I think it's setting up the Rascals coming to help Wesley, so I like it.
So they did a 6-man match on the following episode of NXT, and it was New Catch Republic and Wesley, and I was like,
right.
But I feel like logically we were going in one direction and we didn't go that way. Why did we not do that? Is Zachary still not good over there?
That's what I'm thinking, maybe.
I don't know any other reason. Maybe we're still building to it. Maybe they'll eventually get there. But I was just like,
because they did after the match, they did jump Wes again, and people were like, okay, that means that they're gonna come in.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna get to the Rascals match eventually.
But if you can't bring in Zach, bring in fucking Reed in his place and bring in
Big Myron.
You know, I don't know. But they should bring in Zach though. I don't really know what the situation was, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a very fun triple threat match.
Yeah,
I thought the ladder match was cool. I thought the women did a good job. I was very surprised by the finish. I kind of thought Jada Parker was going to win this thing.
The story that they seem to be telling going into the match, I was like, oh, Jada, they're telling her backstory, they're giving her all this stuff. She felt like she was going to be the one. It was between Jada and I thought Lash had a chance. I was picking Lash just because she was involved with Trick in the main event scene. So yeah, Kaylani kind of surprised me getting that win.
Yeah, but I'm not mad at it. I like Kaylani.
She's dope.
I think she looked great. I think not mad at her as a first champion. Never mad at that.
They made the women's version of the Black Man Championship.
Put it on girlfriend of a former North American champion as well.
What is that tweet that you saw? They said that NXT is now. What was it?
Whatever they were trying to say, that it is catering to black people now, and I was just like, is it? I don't.
Again, just like Stephen A. Smith, you're not done one for me. But shout out to Kaylani. She's a RVD. She's a big RVD fan, and like that makes me happy because she does a lot of RVD spots, and I think she's cool. They tried to kill Lash at one point. They set up a ladder on the outside, and they all dumped her. And I was like, "Oh, Lash is dead." I think.
And then they like all posed and like turned looking out, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to be climbing up the ladder." It was an odd spot, but it was fun. It was a good match. I thought the women's title match was really the standout of the show.
It was.
I thought Jordan versus Roxanne was fantastic. Jordan continues to look like she is like heads and toes above the rest of the field. I thought Roxanne rose to the occasion as well. She looked really good. We got another very nasty earring spot. At one point watching this match and seeing her earring dangling with a piece of flesh from Roxanne's tights, I was like, that is disgusting.
Pretty gross. Yeah, pretty disgusting. And like that was one of those like, you would think this would happen more often. I was like kind of surprised that this isn't a regular occurrence. Like that's pretty rare that people's earrings get caught up and stuff. Seems to keep happening to Jordan, but I think that this is the last time. But yeah, same thing. I think that this was a standout match. Jordan came and showed that I'm a top dog around in any company. Like if I'm working, you're going to fucking work your ass off. But I think that Roxanne showed me that she is a worker. She's different than everybody that they have over there. She already has veteran instincts. She knows reversal. She knows timing. She knows she was the right one to put in this spot. Like she didn't look out of place. She looked like, oh, let's just have a great match.
She very much looked like younger up and coming Deonna Purrazzo in this match.
Totally. 1,000%.
You definitely saw the vibes of Jordan versus Deonna in this match. And in the best way possible.
Yeah, definitely. The way that Roxanne has been carrying herself, it's definitely of that like, I'm a bad motherfucker, dude, and I'll tie you up and I'll compete with what you're doing, and I'm the champion. Like, I love that energy from her.
Yeah, I wasn't as high on this heel turn because I was like, man, she's such a great baby face. Why would you turn her? And the heel turn is working. It's working.
Yeah, I was one of those. No way. Roxanne's like pure, one of the best women baby face that you had since early Bailey. Like, no way you could do this. But I actually like this because it's showing her in a different range, getting her to do different things. And for the future, I think her having this hill run is going to help. Like, this is great.
Yeah, I like the story they told with this match. I like that she narrowly got past Jordan.
Mhm.
I definitely think that Jordan will be a WWE wrestler eventually. It's only a matter of time.
1000%.
I
Yeah.
think just the fact that she's the one that's kind of leading the charge from TNA, and seeing all of the people from TNA there to support her, all the people that were tweeting support for her, that was really cool.
Gresh was
Seeing-
back there.
Yeah, seeing Gresh in the crowd and seeing like the vlog they put up of him backstage, that was really cool. But I think it's only a matter of time. Jordan's going to be on a big stage.
Yeah, so like we talked about earlier, tonight is a TNA show, and she has an open challenge for her Impact Knockouts Championship, and I'm wondering who could that be? There's been a lot of people have been saying Tatum Paxley from NXT could be the one to show up, but I don't know. Could be a big surprise, or it could be a nothing surprise.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, she's going to be in WWE very soon.
Could be a big red herring. Yeah, they do have a big show taking place tonight in the city of Chicago out in Cicero.
Wow. You're not pulling up?
Probably already sold out, so can't say that I'll probably be there.
It's TNA. I think you'll be fine.
TNA. No, I looked before. That venue usually sells out. TNA
yeah.
does pretty good here because they're here very often. And they
you can get anywhere you want. That's what you just got to give up Big Phil energy. Like, yo, I'm Big Phil. What you gonna do? Let me in here. That's what I do. It's Big Reg. Let me in here. What you gonna do? Not let me in here?
Big Reg, let me in. That's hilarious.
Do not let me in here? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's sold out because they do the Cicero Stadium pretty often, and they have a pretty loyal fan base of fans here in Chicago on the West Side that go to those shows. So I'm pretty certain it's sold out.
Oh, the West Side Chicago homies pull up, huh?
Yeah, it's out. That crowd. Listen, I keep telling you, Chicago is a wrestling town, man. They will pull up and go to shows, bro.
They do, and they will. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to the Chi-Town homies. What you thought of the main event? You liked Ethan's debut? People shit on his song, brother. I tell you, they hated his song.
I liked his presentation and everything. The song, it might grow on me, but I was like, I don't think this was a good matchup. I think that Trick is still very new and rough around the edges, and I don't think Ethan showed up and was good enough to cover for some of his inexperience.
Agreed.
And so I don't think it was a very good main event. I like both of those guys, but I just don't think this was really an advantageous matchup for either of them.
Agreed.
I think that Ethan's eventually going to be fine. I just don't think that this
probably wasn't the best debut for him.
No, and I don't think that this match is a good judge of what he can do.
Not at all. Yeah, I think that Trick needs, like, he worked great with Melo because he needs that kind of scrappy, running away from him type thing. If you got kind of, they don't do the same thing, but if you got kind of two guys that are like the same type of style that don't really do super flashy things, they're just like good workers. Yeah. It could get to being like this match was,
Yeah.
Like nothing against either one of them. They like it wasn't like this is a bad match. It was just like these two guys don't click the best in this position.
No. Which, speaking of, if whoever is going to show up in this battle royal and we get the match, I wouldn't be mad at certain TNA wrestler coming over there and getting a match. Yeah. Based on like the type of wrestlers he's had good matches with, I wouldn't be mad at Trick Williams versus Chris Bay. I think that'd be fire.
Oh, CB. Yeah. Is that exactly what I described there? He needs that like evasive David versus Goliath. I'm trying to catch this guy type, and CB really represents that. He times 1,000 at this point.
I wouldn't be mad at that, but I don't know. I don't know what
I mean, and also we talked about Josh Alexander. If you want somebody that could give Trick Williams a good match, no problem. You got it right there, built in.
Yeah, I don't think that he can win the match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Hendry shows up in the match.
Oh, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry might win, honestly.
That guy, buddy.
He's over like Rover. Yeah.
Over, buddy.
Mm-hmm. He might win, honestly. Now thinking of who's going to be in it, probably, and they've made mention of him a couple times. I'm like, Joe Hendry might do this.
Say his name.
But I kind of feel like the same way as Ethan Page. That's kind of the in ring. That's kind of what Joe Hendry represents too. Like the match wouldn't be the best though.
Yeah. Very funny things from this TNA show last night, including Joe Hendry announcing his new manager. Did you see that?
Who was it?
Joe Hendry's new manager coming into the city of Chicago for Against All Odds is a guy that has also managed the best in the world, Ace Steel.
I love it. If he bites somebody, I'm gonna cry.
Bro, what I immediately thought when Ace Steel walked up next to him was that video of people, whoever made the video of putting Joe Hendry singing over CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Wow. Ace Steel, that is really good. Oh, because Ace Steel works over there, doesn't he?
He does.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, I died laughing at that. All of those clips of that Matt Hardy stuff. Did you see any of this?
I did not. I missed it.
At one point, Eddie Edwards turned into like a werewolf.
Joe Hendry's the guy. They need to make him TNA World Champion. I don't know why he's not.
Oh God!
But yeah, I think he might win on Tuesday.
No. You didn't see any of this. His clip of Moose at the end. Matt Hardy, I'm gonna kill you, Matt Hardy.
No, I didn't see any of this. Sounds very silly.
Moose screaming at the end of the show, and then it like basically fades to black, and all you hear is Matt doing the
Oh my God. Forgot they lost all their writers over there. It's rough. Rough and tough tumble show.
Oh yeah, that is your world title match for this pay-per-view tonight. Moose taking on Matt Hardy. We've also got official teases of Jeff potentially showing up over there because he's going to become a free agent soon.
Good for them. I hope Jeff stays on the right path. I hope that the Hardy Boys get a last thing, and I hope everything's all right.
Yeah. This NXT show, it was fun.
It was all right.
It was cool. The Sexy Red stuff happened. She showed up at several points in the night that kind of felt like, oh yeah, I forgot she was here. She is hosting the show. She showed up at the end to do some twerking when Trick was holding up the belt, and I was like, oh yeah, she is still here. And then the next day, the footage of her getting into that brawl at the airport was everywhere. Apparently, this happened before she came and did the NXT show, so she got into a brawl at the airport and then still showed up and did the pay-per-view.
Totally. Yeah, classic. She's really trying to get into a wrestler bag. She's like, I'm going to get into a fight and then go to the fight. Like, respect, I guess. Is she on the no-fly list now? Does she have to drive out? Like, because usually when you fight over there, like, you got to... Because they were like, she came... At one point, she comes in like with like one of the big things in her hand. Like,
yeah, one of the big posts, like the barricade posts. I was like, yo, I don't think you can do that.
I don't think you can do that.
With the bonnet on doing it? I was like, yo, all right.
I do not think you could do that, but she did that, and then she still showed up to the show, and like nothing happened. So
yeah, she did some backstage stuff with HBK, and HBK did do some twerking. Unfortunately,
twerking for likes. Can't believe Shawn Michaels twerking. That's somebody's goat. Twerking for likes. WrestleMania 25, my favorite WWE match ever. Still twerking for likes though. Like the lasting memories you'll have of like Shawn Michaels in the last couple of years is like him twerking for likes, bald head HBK at Saudi Arabia. It's like shit, dude.
Nah, man, 5-star meal.
He said that was a 5-star meal. I'm like, out of how many stars? Out of how many stars though, Phil?
I don't know. 5-star meal.
Match of the year. Will Chisholm says that Roxanne versus Jordan Grace match was good. It's crazy how good Roxanne is at this young age. Yeah, Roxanne is like
It's incredible.
I thought at the Raw after Mania when they had her on the show that she was going to get called up, but I guess that was just they just wanted to have her on the show. Super weird. And then Tony P says, y'all see the video of Cody crowd surfing over there?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, Cody's still that guy, man.
Yeah, he is. He's the GOAT. That's why I don't think he's losing tomorrow. That's all of our super chats. Thank y'all.
I don't believe we have any more Humper chats. Hold on, let me refresh just in case.
It's Friday. I have to keep remembering that it's Friday and not Saturday.
Yeah, appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, I just seen a question that I'm not answering. And I'm not answering that question. But no, that is all of our Humper chats. It's been fun as always. Coming to you live on a Friday instead of a Saturday. We'll be back at our regular scheduled time slot next week. But yeah, this has been Grapsody. Appreciate you guys as always coming through, sending us your super chats, supporting. Send us your Humper chats. I don't know. We don't have anything else. There's no muss. There's no more.
We out.
Yeah, man. Hey, get outside, have some fun. It's okay, man. You don't have to stay on these Twitter machines typing and it's okay. Go
Get
outside.
off these Twitter streets. Them streets ain't nothing.
It's all right, man. Go on outside and have fun, man. It's summertime, man. It's a legendary rapper.
Cool songs, hands song. The fans song. They should try to say Rakim wrote that.
Yeah, that song was written in the city of Chicago. It's actually about summertime Chicago.
Oh, summertime shot, huh? Tired of
Can't get much better. Drink it in, man. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Righteous Reg. We are out of here.